Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Podcast Juice. My name is Michael Dean, and you're listening to the podcast on Prince, aka the Prince Podcast. We have a special guest in the house today, Mr. Damon Dickson. Sir, how you doing?
All right, man. I'm good. How you feeling, bro?
I'm doing all right, man. You know, another day, another dollar. Makes me want to holler.
Another day, another dollar. That's a saying that goes back a long way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, man, we have one of the original members of the new power generation. Damon's you've been in the game with this. I want to say it was, let's say this. I'm talking about the NPG, but that is you had some other stuff going on with Prince before that,
right?
And we'll get into that, yeah. But I know a lot of us, when we really got the name and who you were, was, I believe, the Nude Tour, or maybe even more Graffiti Bridge, but the Nude Tour, where really, boom, you and your brothers Tony and Kurt really came out.
Yeah, that's where we actually, the world started actually knowing who we were. But like I said, the history goes back to like 84, 83, 84.
Okay.
When we we're just brothers out there trying to make a name for ourselves, going out to the club, dancing, and just having fun in the beginning of it. So it's just what it was. Taking our trip down to First Avenue, the historic First Avenue, I should call it. Where a lot of brothers that got started. So
okay,
that's the beginning of it.
And that first look for a lot of us, but we didn't know what we were seeing at the time, was you guys were featured in Purple Rain, the movie.
Right. So that opportunity actually came along after me and Tony. And that's a story in itself. Tony came to me and was pitching for us to go down to First Avenue and get in these dance contests they had back in the day, which was called the Great Pretenders / Dance Contest at First Avenue. And they held those, every Thursday, I think it was.
Okay.
And we'd go down there and, we first just was kind of hanging out at the club and stuff. But then, we got to watching these contests, and Tony came to me one day and goes, "Hey, man, I know you used to dance, man. In high school, we did, you used to always be at the little discos and stuff, man, and you want to jump into this contest." And I'm like, okay, yeah, I haven't, really, did anything with anybody in a while. So, fresh out of high school, I was working 2 or 3 jobs at the time,
okay.
So it wasn't one of them things I was thinking about, but I've always been a dancer, you know what I mean? So love performing and stuff. So, that goes back to my childhood, dancing at family reunions. All the family, the older generation was trying to get you to dance, and they've been drinking, they want some entertainment. So they get the kids in there. Say, "Yo, go get them kids coming here to dance. Come on, y'all." And most of the cousins wouldn't do it, but they knew old Day-Day come in there. Get Day-Day. He'll come dance.
Day-Day. Okay.
Day-Day. Yeah, that's the nickname my family calls me, man. And I jump in there and get my dance on, and shoot, they started paying me money. Shit, you couldn't pay me not to come in there and dance. They throwing dollars out there, fellas. Y'all better come on and get some of this money.
Hilarious.
So, I was always the one wanting to do that. So fast forward to, when Tony talked to us about going down there, man, we hooked up one night, went down there and put together a dance routine with the group. We called ourselves, we were a duet. It was just me and Tony at the time, and we called ourselves To Be Rude. Play on Prince's stuff, right?
Okay.
Not really knowing who Prince was, but we called ourselves we knew who he was. I shouldn't say that, but the name To Be Rude came up, and that's what we went by. And it was funny because I didn't really listen to a lot of Prince's stuff at the time, because I knew who he was and heard some stuff. But the To Be Rude name came about, and that's what we used as a duet when we did our little dance thing. So we went down there and rocked that club, I don't know, maybe four weeks in a row, winning the contest down there. We were no joke, dude. We was putting together some serious dance stuff. So we did that, and then got knocked off by Kirk and his group. at the time, which was B Train. Him, it was Kirk, a brother named Scott Mart, and a Pat, Patrick. Geez, can't even think of his last name right now. I just always call him Pat. But they had a little group called B Train.
Is it B Train or D Train?
B as in Victor. B Train.
Oh, B Train. Okay.
Yeah, them brothers, man, they was tight, and they knocked us off.
What was your guys' ages? What was the ages you guys around this time?
We was in our 20s.
Okay.
Late 20s or so. Mid to 20s. I'm the oldest, so I was a couple years older than Tony and Kirk. So, me being the oldest, than most of them guys. So, we got knocked off, and then this lady came up and gave us an opportunity to be in a movie. The lady's name was Rookie Wall. She had a Plaza One modeling agency / whatever else they did. They the one that asked us about being in it, and we were like, cool. And so Purple Rain was getting filmed in First Avenue, and that's where the opportunity came in. You know what I mean? So
wow. And did you know about the filming of Purple Rain before she asked you about it?
No, not at all, brother. Like I said, we went down there to rock that contest and won about four times in a row. And after we got knocked off, the lady came to ask us about it, and then of course, I think she also extended that to Kirk and them as well. And then there was another brother that we beat out, who we wound up taking from them because he was always down there. His name was Everett Kimbrough. He went by Nature, but he was dancing with this white girl at the time who was pretty funky. She was bad, but they couldn't handle us. So, we all wind up being down there on the set. But no, I didn't know anything about the thing until the lady said something. And then we were like, oh, okay. And they said, they told us, it was a Prince thing, and, Warner Brothers was doing this movie and up and coming artists, blah, blah, blah. We like, oh, okay, cool. Now, in the neighborhood, we all knew who Prince was. You know what I mean? We knew him from around the neighborhood. Prince stayed in North Minneapolis, his family, his mother, everybody, and they used to have a bunch of little events that happened in the summer, the Juneteenth. Around that time, it was always like a big North Side family festival. You know what I mean? Everybody came out to that. You know what I mean? So we knew him from back in them days. You know what I mean? So when he got his opportunity to be in the movie, it was like, oh, okay. We knew who the brother was. It's just he was kind of I don't want to say weird, but you might want to say he was different. So, right. At the time, because I didn't really, I'd seen him and kind of, like that, but not really had ever spoke to him, had ever kicked it with him or anything like that, but we knew who he was and that stuff. So.
Let me ask you this, just to touch on something you said. You said he was different. Like, how did y'all see Prince back then? Like, what was the vibe?
Oh my God. You mean when I first met him? If you want to go with when I first met, brother, when I first first see him.
Well, let me phrase it to you this way. And I asked sort of what was the vibe of him. What did you expect him to be like when you met him? Because that kind of would go into how y'all thought about Prince. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, my first experience of this brother is watching him, presently looking at him face to face for the first time. I was in high school and he happened to come through North. He was, my understanding, coming there to get his transcript because he was going to transfer to another school or whatever. And he walked through there with Des Dickson and Andre Simone. And when they came through the school, they were dressed up in that getup. He was in that outfit from Dirty Minds, the trench coat, the bandana, and the pair of Speedo underwear things and shit with the little high heel shoes on.
He wearing that through the school?
He walked right through the school that way. Nigga, so listen, brother, what was funny is all of us ball players, because I played ball in high school. I played football, basketball, and baseball. So I was, one of them tri-sport athletes. But we all standing around And kind of watching this brother walk through, and everybody was looking like, what in the hell is going on here? You know, and he kind of walked through and he had this shit on, man. And serious, true story, brother. We all walking through, looked at him, and he walked past, and once he got past, everybody was like, look at this crazy motherfucker right here. What in the hell is he got on? And it was hilarious, dude. And, you know, in my mind, because, you know, me being I was from Texas, brother, country, didn't know, I ain't never seen no shit like that.
Right.
I was born and raised in Texas, moved to Minnesota, went, from my mom and dad moving us up here. And that brother for the first time, I was like, okay, what the hell was that? And then he walked past, and then it's like, okay, shit. They said, oh man, that's Prince, and blah, blah, blah. I said, oh, that's Prince, huh? Oh. All right. I already know. All right. So, that was the first experience of actually seeing the brother. And then, fast forward again, we go back to after we did the little dance contests, and we got an opportunity to be on the set. And we came there, and the lady was telling us that we weren't going to actually be in anything. We were going to help pick people to be on the set. Well, instantly, brothers got an attitude like, what do you mean we ain't going to be in it? And we won the contest. Right. What are you talking about?
Wow.
So we wind up picking people to be on the set. And, that was cool because we got a chance to meet a bunch of people. And then, also getting a chance to see Prince and the Time and all them guys, actually interacting with them, you know what I mean? Speaking and saying whatever, and okay. So we were there on the set, a few days in. We had been getting up every day, going down to this Joker. Now, mind you, at the time, brother, like I said, I had 2 or 3 jobs. Mm. And so I was, being at this set, I was missing money and hanging out, but they were giving us a little bit of that little money for just being on set, that little okay. $25, $30, $35 a day to hang out and be prepared.
Right.
And we were doing that on one of the downtime, man. We all was sitting around. And we were trying to find something to do, so we kind of ran to the bathroom and started, dancing and clapping and stomping our feet. That old fashioned back in the, slavery days, a little hand clapping and stomping the feet and getting your groove on.
Right.
And brother walked in the door. Prince walked in the bathroom. Now we in the bathroom. There's a whole bunch of us in there, and even some girls in the men's bathroom.
Oh Lord.
And so we in there getting our groove on and stuff, right? And he stopped, he stared, and he just kind of stood there for a second. He watched, and then he left the bathroom stuff. And, we kind of was doing our thing. We saw him, but we was like, oh shit. So he leaves, and I quickly go outside, to see where the brother went, because I'm like, oh shit, man, it's supposed to be a quiet time right now. We in here making all this damn noise in the bathroom, and that shit was echoing through this damn club. And so I looked down the stairs, looked over this little rail, and I see him talking to this white guy who turns out to be his manager at the time, Adam Lee. And Alan was looking up at us, and he pointed up there, and I was like, oh shit. And stuff like pointing up here and shit. So I'm thinking to myself, woo, they finna come up here and say some shit. And we must have been, must have got on the nigga's nerve or
right.
some
shit.
Get
them niggas out of here. That's what she
Go get them niggas up out of here. God damn it. They making too much noise. It's supposed to be quiet. I can't even use the bathroom. Damn it. I was going in there to use the bathroom. And I was like, oh shit. That was the first thing came to my mind. So brother, here comes Alan Lee coming up the stairs, and he said, hey, you one of the guys that was dancing in the bathroom? I paused a second and looked around, like, yeah. And he's like, come here, let me talk to you. So I walked over there, and he's like, so the kid, that's what they call him in the movie. The kid wants to know if you guys is available to do something for him. I'm like, do something like what? And he's like, well, he's got some songs. Want y'all to, put together a little dance routine and see what you got and stuff. And I was like, okay. He said you would know who all the guys were in there that was dancing with you. And I was like, yeah. I know who was in it. He said, well, give me a minute. I'm going to go get a cassette tape. And then I'll bring that back to you and you get them guys together and then y'all will, see what you guys have tomorrow morning. And I was like, cool. All right. So he leaves. Now I go back to the bathroom. Now, they're announcing that we're getting ready to get back on set. And here comes Tony out of the bathroom. Now this is my boy. I'm like, yo, Tone. He's like, what's up, man? I said, hey, man. So this dude just came talk to me, man. Want to know if we, do something for Princeton and do something in the movie. He said, for real, dude, stop playing, nigga. I'm trying to go down here and get in this scene. And I looked at him and I'm like, nigga, I'm telling you, the dude's trying to tell us we might be in our own scene. Nigga, what you talking about? He said. Tone was one of them niggas. He like, he looked at me. He said, yeah, all right, nigga. So when the nigga bring the tape, bring it, nigga, I'll be down here on this set. I was like, I couldn't be mad at the brother because I knew he was like, nigga, I'm getting in a scene, nigga. I don't know what you talking about. I was like,
stop lying.
Right. And so I was like, all right, dude. I said, well, I'll let you know. So he went down and sure enough, he was trying to get in a scene. Hell, I was too. I went down to this one scene where they was trying to, shooting this scene with Chick. Chick was stopping Apollonia from coming in the club.
Oh, okay.
There's a scene right there at the door where he's stopping her, and then somebody calls him, and she tries to sneak in.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
And she sticks her foot in the door. Well, I'm actually in that scene, but you don't really get to see me. Interesting. Okay. You kind of see a little side of me, and I'm talking to some girl at the door. But yeah, whatever. I didn't make that cut.
Wow.
But anyway,
okay. Let me ask you. So I still got questions now. You just got my brain tripping. What did you think of? Because I'm a fan, right? So we just saw Apollonia and we saw her on the screen. Niggas was like, their mouth dropped. Wow.
Right.
In real life, when you saw her for the first time, was you like, damn, okay? Or was
who?
I mean, when you saw Apollonia, like, did she look as beautiful as she did? As it seemed on that screen? Like when you were there in person when you saw her, what did you?
Oh yeah. Trust me, ain't now one of them women that he was messing with was no mud duck. And when I say mud duck, you know what I mean. And they wasn't no mud ducks, nigga. None of them motherfuckers. Them girls look good. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie to you now. Don't let me steer you wrong.
Right.
Because they look good. But no, Apollonia was a beautiful, man. She was gorgeous. I mean, the two girls that did the thing with her, the little white chick Brenda and the little I don't know what she was, Indian or whatever she was.
Kim?
Susan?
Oh, Susan, excuse
me. Her name was Susan. Man, that little
yeah.
She was fine too, but Apollonia, yeah, she was a bad girl.
Okay. So
she was a bad girl.
So you were sort of in that scene, right? As you said.
So after that scene, we got through, they shooting whatever pipes to that, and then they went inside the club, shot some stuff, and then Alan came to us later that evening. It must have been about 11 or 12 or so, or whatever it was, and he brought the tape, and he's like, hey, so we're getting ready to cut shop tonight, and then once you guys, here's the tape, bring it, come back in the morning, and we'll see what you have. So I done got Tony, Kirk, me, Everett, and Scott, who was at the time the other person there. Pat, I don't know what happened with Pat. I don't know why he didn't join in, but we all went over to Tony's mother's house, her apartment, which is where we live, me and Tony. We were living in this place called the Cecil Newman. And we all went over there, to put together the routines. And there was like 7 songs on the cassette. And
you remember what songs were on there?
Computer Blue, The Time, The Bird. He just had a slew of different songs, but those are pretty much all the one. Computer Blue, The Time, The Bird, Jungle Love, all that stuff was on there. There was a few things.
Well, just real quick, what happened with that cassette? Because I mean, you're getting the music before it even came out. I'm just curious.
What a cassette we had. I mean, I can't remember. I think Tony still had it at the time.
Okay.
So I don't know what happened to it after that. I know we came back. No, I take that back. Well, it was, but when we came back, that's the cassette they used, for us to show them.
Oh, okay.
We went so when we got back the next morning, which was, we pulled an all-nighter to put together them 7 routines. So we stayed up from like 12 to, I want to say it was like 3 or 4 in the morning, and then brothers ran home and shower and get yourself together and come back and meet down there at the club. And we got there, and Alan came to us. He said, let's see what y'all got. And he took us down to this room where the Time and Prince and them were all sitting in this room. And so giving the tape. Oh, so let me go back to when we were doing the when we were doing the, putting together the thing. We put the tape in, brother. The first song, the tape broke.
Wow.
And brothers were sitting there like, oh shit, man. Somebody go get a pencil. Somebody go get a screwdriver. We're going to unscrew this joke and put it back together. And so, back then, because that tape, had a tendency to break. So we put the joker back together so it wouldn't play the very beginning of that song because we had to doctor that joker up. But we got it to work anyway.
Wow.
And we brothers didn't panic. We just knew we had to fix that damn tape.
We're gonna let this opportunity go by.
This tape ain't stopping us. No, it ain't. Nigga, we gotta go in here and hand clap and stomp feet. We gonna make this work. But we fixed the tape, brother, and we went down, and then so when he got ready to play the tape, we like, hey, so the tape broke on us, man, so it ain't gonna play all the way at the beginning, so y'all wanna start it there. So instead of starting it on the first song, whatever, they put it on Computer Blue. And that's the song that we jumped into.
Okay.
And when he played the Joker, I think we did, man, let's say 30 seconds of that song. And then the brother said, that's good, and stopped the tape and told us we leave. Wow. We leave out of the room, and then we hear the door close, and we hear, a bunch of chuckling and laughing and shit going on. I was like, oh, man, them niggas laughing at us and shit, man. Them niggas laughing at us and shit, man. What the fuck?
Wow.
So, we get outside the room, and then Alan comes out. He says, what we're going to do is we're going to have you guys featured on a certain area. So you guys are going to be on this balcony. That's where you guys are going to be at for the rest of the movie. When things, when we film it, cutting from the band to you guys and back to the crowd and that kind of stuff, you guys. And we were like, oh, cool. Yeah, okay. So, that's how we got the opportunity,
wow.
And that's how that opportunity arrived for us. So, for the whole time we were down there from that point on, we were all up on that balcony, except for a couple times he had us come down to the floor, and there was a scene where he fell out into the audience. We were the ones that caught him and put him back.
Now,
and then
go ahead.
And then we went back up to the, our little area where they had us at. So, we was running around there thinking we were celebrities at that point. They, they were ushering us back and forth to different areas and stuff. So, yeah, it was cool.
When you guys filmed your scenes, were they actually filming the performances of the band at the same time? Or?
Right. So whenever the band started kicking in, we would just be up there going the routine through whatever thing. So whatever they panned to when we were doing is what they caught.
Okay.
There was a time where, we did the whole routine for the shot, but I think they edited how they wanted it to. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Right. You remember like how many different takes they did with the band, like going through the song?
My God. So Prince's stuff went by pretty smooth. I mean, when he filmed, he was, pretty much on point. The thing was back then was they were trying to get Morris to stay, do his lyrics right and do them, on time. And that was, from my recollection, when we was checking it out, he was messing up and he kept doing his over and over. Now, Morris did his a few times, It was a few times he had to go through it. So, we were still, just doing what we had to do or whatever. And it was just funny because, Prince is such a perfectionist that how he deal with stuff in here, it's his music. So of course he knows it. You know what I mean? So he ain't going to be doing too much to mess up.
Could you tell at any point during your time that you guys were around that there was any sort of tension on the set between anybody?
Between the Time and him?
Yeah, like Morris and Prince and all those guys.
Right. Yeah. No, not really. Not really. You couldn't really feel anything like that because, we were on the outside looking in before I knew anything about, them having any kind of issues with one another and that kind of thing. And they were friends. They were childhood friends. So, you know, you got to look at that as what people were hearing and saying. They're like brothers. It's like family members. Y'all gonna have some, you know, I mean, I don't have no brothers, but if I did, nigga, you better get out of line, nigga. I'm telling you what you, I'm telling you, don't cross me, you know. But it was just the feeling of any animosity. No, I didn't see anything like that. Not at that time.
Before the movie comes out, and after you guys did your parts in it, what was you guys' expectation? Did you think, oh, we're going to be all through this movie at certain parts? Is this movie even going to be good?
Man, of course. Dude, look, you do a movie, you're expecting to see yourself. And so, well, yeah, when the movie finally came out, after everything was done, we went and bought tickets. Me and Tony went and bought tickets and went down to this place called the Skyway Theater to see the movie and stuff. And when we saw the movie, it was like, that's it? Nigga, what all that damn dancing we were doing, nigga, that's all they showing us?
Now, did y'all hype it up to your family and your friends and stuff? Like, oh, we gonna be all through this?
No, not really at all, man. Okay. I wasn't into that kind of stuff. But I mean, you know, our family knew because we were down there. So wasn't like they didn't know. So we didn't really, it wasn't really about trying to hype ourselves up and that stuff, because people already knew we danced a lot. People already knew, you know, what we were doing and stuff like that. So it was just one of them things, you know, we just kind of like rolled with the punches and stuff, so to speak, man. It was, movie came out, people started acknowledging us as them guys that danced in Purple Rain. And you know, after we saw the movie, we was all talking about it. We like, dang, dude, they cut us out a lot of stuff, you know, good Lord. But, you know, the little stuff they did keep us in, we knew it was us. You know what I mean? And we did, you know, it's marked in history. We can't say we weren't. Right. You know what I mean? So,
it's classic.
You know, so it was one of them things. Now, afterwards, we kind of, you know, kept doing a bunch of stuff around the city, different stuff. And, of course, when Purple Rain came out and they were getting ready to do the premiere in Hollywood, he did ask us to come out and be a part of that. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. What was your experience with that?
Oh man, it was crazy amazing, man. The opportunity to go out there and you know, be in Hollywood and then, you know, lip sync a song. I think we did Erotic City. He had us lip sync that. He had us called us out and said, hey, you know, I'm gonna have you guys out, you know, for the premiere, have you guys open up for me, blah, blah, blah. And we were like, oh, okay, okay. Wow. And we thinking, well, what the hell, we going to open up? What, we going to sing or some shit? And we just kind of figure out, you know, what this nigga had in mind. But, you know, it was cool, man. Because he brought us out there to this warehouse where we, you know, where in fact, Paisley Pipe wasn't even done yet. That wasn't even in the picture. And so he brought us out there. And then he brought this girl, and I can't remember her name, but he brought this girl out and said she was going to be the girl voice on the song, blah, blah, blah. And we just kind of was like, okay. So we're rehearsing and doing the whole thing or whatever. And then, you know, in true Prince fashion, he made sure that we were going to be dressed right and all that stuff. So he dressed all of us, had us all in these different Prince outfits with the ruffled shirt, with the ruffled sleeves. The whole, you know.
Yeah, I got no pictures of that.
Let's see.
That would be classic.
You know what? I honestly have not seen any pictures of them outfits of us doing anything in that. That's a good question. I ain't never seen none of that.
Okay. It's got to be on video really, somewhere too, I would imagine.
It's got to be somewhere, but if it is, it's in some footage that ain't nobody highly seen.
Right.
You know.
And I'm going to come back to you on some outfit conversation, but go ahead.
Okay. But I'm sure you will. So we were, you know, we got the shot to go out there, and after we did all the rehearsing, whatever, we got out there, man, and it was like crazy with all these celebrities, man. I mean, you name it, they was there.
Right.
You name a celebrity and they was there. And we were just like, good Lord, this is amazing. You know, everybody from Eddie Murphy to Rockwell, Quincy, and all these people, man. There was so many people there for that thing. It was crazy. So we're getting ready to do the show, you know, getting ready to go down there and get our little thing on. And we lip syncing this song, Erotic City. And we go down there, get on stage, and we start doing the thing, and that music kick in, and you know, and that butterflies is like you're in front of all these major acts, and it's like, oh Lord, you know. And for me, I mean, coming from where I came from, man, being a country boy from Texas, and you know, as my junior high coach used to call me, tumbleweed from Texas. I'm like, this is, tumbleweed, brother. It was crazy. But I just, you know, to be in that atmosphere was like crazy for me. It was like exciting, like, oh my God, dude, this has gotta be the, you know, the biggest thing ever in my life, you know. And you know, we didn't do the show, man. And as soon as the music kicked in, all that adrenaline started flowing, and we started doing our thing. And then looked up, man, and here comes the girl on her pipe, and this girl walks out, dude. And now we're all dressed to the nine. You know what I mean? We got on the ruffle shirt, we got on the, you know, the dress shoes, we got on the, you know, the little French silk outfits, all that stuff that he had. I mean, it's some expensive stuff that he had us in. And here comes a girl out here in a panty and 2 strips of tape. Hold on. And 2 strips of tape across her chest.
Wow.
2 strips of tape, nigga. Not no. I'm like looking like,
what the hell?
Oh, you know, we still got to be professional and do the song and act like we, you know, this is something normal for us. But, you know, when she walked out, niggas was like kind of, you know, like that stutter and keep moving. Don't mess up now, nigga, because here she is. It's like, oh my God. So we did it, you know, we finished it, you know, brothers had, I mean, she was a good looking girl. So you sitting there like, holy shit, what the hell? Did he just have her come out here and some panties and a damn 2 strips of tape on her neck? And she did it? And she did it. She did it for the money. Never mind. It ain't like she wouldn't, goddamn. I mean, what woman ain't gonna be like, I'm gonna pay you to come be in my shit, okay?
Lord.
So that was, dude, we finished, and brothers came up and say, man, we was killing that stuff. All these people at this thing, dude, was coming up to us going, yeah, man, that was dope, man. You guys was great. And when y'all gonna put that out? When y'all coming out? And we were going,
oh, that's right, because that song probably hadn't really broke yet.
Nobody's heard that yet.
That's right.
They thought we did that song.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we going, no, yeah, okay, well, yeah, no, we, you know, well, I'm not sure, bro. You know, we try to play it off like we know what they talking about. Like, look, dude, we ain't nobody. We coming out. We putting the song out. Nigga, oh, dang, wow, okay.
But that begs the question. I wonder, in another world, what if he had, like, you know what, he kind of was going to maybe do a time type of deal. Like, that would have been your guys' song. And that, whoever that young lady would have been, could have been
right, bro. I mean, you know, we had no clue what else he had in mind. And we didn't, you know, we wasn't questioning anything he asked us to do because, you know, it's just what we did, you know. And he paid us well to just come out there and do that. Just that little, you know, 5-minute song, you know, and it was cool. And
did you ever see that lady again? Did you ever see the lady?
You know what? If I did, I couldn't tell you, you know, because there's been so many women that come through there like that look like her. She might remember us. I don't think I remember her. If she
came out with the tape on the titties, you might be like, oh, that was the one.
Yeah, but by now she probably been gained some weight. They don't tell her. Be like, hey, I'm the girl that was something to me. Remember me? He's like, ooh, Lord, you see? Be trying to remember, like, yeah, I remember you. You wasn't that big, though, was you? No, I'm just kidding.
I always loved you, Damon. I always loved you.
Look, I'll be like, you lying. You didn't love me. I know you didn't. Dude, I correct her in a heartbeat. But no, I don't think it was me, baby. But we was trying to get to the premiere of the movie, right? And then, brother, we went over to the like, yo, man, we gonna get to the movie. He gonna call us. We at the hotel thinking we gonna go see the movie, right? Mm-hmm. The brother said, yeah, so we're like, we didn't, we can't get you guys into the movie. So you guys are just gonna have to wait this one out and stuff or whatever. And we were like, really, nigga? I mean, we flew out here to see the movie with everybody else. And so, yeah, we didn't get a chance to go to the premiere of the movie, which is fine. He said we weren't trying to make a breakdance movie.
Wait a minute, who said that?
That's what Prince said.
Hilarious.
We weren't trying to make a breakdance movie. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Well, cool, man. Whatever. I mean, thanks. You know.
Is that how we be talking? Did we talk like that?
Listen. Look, I've been told I got a good impersonation of him whenever I talk. Sometimes because he'll say, what are you guys thinking? What do you want to do? Are you okay with that? But yeah, nigga, we okay. Cause we got that heavy ass voice, you know. The nigga, he always had a deep voice whenever he talked to you. So, you know, so it was cool. It was like, okay, all right. So we ain't making a breakdance movie. You got to come out here. We did all the little thing. Okay, cool, bro. It's all good. Got to rub elbows with some celebrities.
Right.
You know, enjoy some of that fancy food y'all had in there that didn't fill up a brother. We had to leave and go eat somewhere else, but it's okay. Your hat was eating that old bull crap they had over there.
Hilarious.
Everybody was drunk afterwards anyway.
Wow.
But it was cool, you know, that part of it. And then when we got back to Minnesota, you know, of course, everybody was like, you know, knew we had went out there. It was like family was like, oh man, how was that? And blah, blah. And at the time I was dating this girl she was just jealous of all get out, dude. And I got back home, she want to cuss me out, I know you was with some heifer out there. I was like, hey. And her brother had to step in and go, hey, that brother just went to Hollywood and got a chance to dance for Prince and do the thing. All you can think about is a damn heifer? Like, bro. And so her brothers were musicians. They've been playing around the city and they knew Prince.
Okay.
They had, you know, played in bands against him and around him and all that stuff. So they were like, wanting to know how that feel, you know. And I'm like, yo, dude, that was good. He said, man, you just been dancing and you got an opportunity to do what all us musicians would want to do.
Right.
I was like, yeah, it's cool, man. I mean, I'm not taking nothing from the musicians, but, you know, I mean, we danced our ass off to get that opportunity. So, you know, it was cool. And I sit down with her older brother, and he was a guitar player and a vocalist. And he was like, man, that's just, he said, that's incredible, dude. He said, man, I can't say nothing but, you know, I'm, you know, proud to know you just for being a part of that and the work you put in. And I was like, yeah, man. And, you know, and it was just crazy, the whole thing after that. So after that, we were, you know, took some time. We weren't getting calls for a lot of stuff. People started asking us to come to nightclubs and when we'd host and, you know, do little party things and get the crowd, you know. So we were still getting some play around the city and that kind of stuff. And then fast forward after Purple Rain came out, and through some of the other time, we were still doing little dance shows here and there and that stuff. So the band, the group that we all put together started splitting up. Me and Tony was doing our thing over here, and Kirk winded up getting with this dude, Everett, who was with us, and him and another guy by the name of what they called him, Bam. They had a little group. So we all were still doing stuff around the city. You know, we'd run into each other here and there. And then I remember one night Prince called, or had his people call her, and Tony hit me up. He said, man, I just got a call from them guys, man. They want to know if, you know, we do, you know, a video. And I said, oh, okay. And then he's like, yeah. He said, but you know, Kirk's over there with Everett them, and I don't know, we want to bring the other two dudes in, or I said, well, whatever, because he said, well, he asked for, all five of us. Well, all five of us had went our separate ways, except for me and Tony. And so we called the guy Everett to see if he wanted to and was going to tell Kirk about it. And dude just flat out told us no. He's like, nah, man, we got our own thing, blah, blah, blah. And we like, really, dude? You don't even want to do it? And then, so we called Kirk and told Kirk about it. And Kirk was like, yeah. He said, man, yeah, I'll do it with y'all, whatever. And he's like, well, dude said y'all wouldn't. So fast forward, we just left it alone. Said, that's your deal over there with dude, man. But if you want to do it, it'll just be us three. And that's how the three of us became split level and doing the group thing that we did.
Let me pause you right there for a quick second, because I want to go back, because I know you're about to go into the madhouse, but I want for the listeners to have some context of, you guys had these dance groups, and a lot of time, I will admit I'm a little older now, so I'm not out here like I used to be, but back in the days, dancing was just as important of the culture. And all different cities had their different get downs. In New York, they had, it was known for breaking, but LA really was popping and locking. And different places had house music and different. And so from y'all in Minneapolis, what was it like? And we're talking like in the 80s. So that's when really the dances was popping off. Yeah. Talk about the dance culture out there in your hometown when you guys come.
Here in Minnesota, man, it was, we just kind of was, we had places that we had, like New York and like LA, you had your little places where you meet up with, go to a little club and everybody get together with their own little clique and get your groove on. But we weren't considered, big on breakdance. We weren't considered big on pop or any of the other stuff. But, when we went to places, we kind of incorporated a little bit of breakdance, a little bit of pop and some locking, which was, which was what the lockers used to do back in the day. And we didn't really consider ourselves one or the other. We didn't title ourselves as, we're breakdancers, or we're, we just pop, and we did everything. When we incorporated a dance routine, we add an element of different stuff so it wouldn't look like what everybody else looked like. We wanted to be different, and that's what we kind of took our pride ourselves on, was being different from just break dancing, and you're not just running and doing no up rock and go down and do the little footwork and spinning on your damn head every time you got a chance and wake up with a headache the next day. No, that wasn't what we do.
That wasn't really player anyway, because ain't nobody gonna be dressed up and go to the club and be spinning on their back. Like that wasn't really
exactly. And especially here in Minnesota in the Midwest, these white folks would have been looking at you like, what in the hell is going on with these people? But we hit the clubs, man, and we just be, we do a lot of dance routines. I mean, and we was always, when I say this, we were always in practice and in tune with each other. One of us could start something and the other one would jump in and pick it up right away. And before you know it, we'd be doing a routine and niggas be like, yeah, we saved that one, man. Save that one. We're going to call that one number one, blah, blah, blah. We just kept stuff moving. And we would go to clubs, man, and just, get our groove on. So the culture here, there was a lot of dancers. There was a lot of people doing dance stuff. We had brothers here that would do stuff like the Nicholas brothers. There would be two dudes that used to do the like Nicholas brothers tap dance / all that flashy dance stuff. They was hitting it. They were cold. They were cold. We had every different kind of little thing. And then you had your break dancers. Of course, we had some break dancers who was, they thought they was, nobody could touch them, whatever.
They probably swore they was like doing some New York stuff. That's how a lot of cats, if they was into that, boy, they swear they was on some East Coast.
They were into it. And so, for us, it's like, and me coming from my age, I was back in the day when American Bandstand and then, with Soul Train and all that, and I'm watching, and they had the lockers on there. Well, I had already been into that kind of stuff because I had uncles that used to watch that stuff, and I'd be like, oh my God, I want to get on that show. And, and everybody in the family and my family was always like, Well, that damn day they gonna be out here dancing somewhere, boy, because he watched stuff and he picks it up. I mean, from the time I was a little kid, James Brown was an inspiration dance-wise for me. I used to watch James dance. I used to study him. And then when I get to family reunion, I was trying to do the older generation. My dad and mom, what they playing? Otis Redding, James Brown,
right.
Aretha Franklin. So you had to get in there and get that old school dance on. Back in the day, the little slide and all that old damn stuff where they, that juke dancing and stuff. So that's what I grew up on.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And so watching dance on TV was something that I was like, oh my God, man, boy, that's funky, And my mom would always, they get up and let me see you hit some of that. So I'd be like, all right. And I'd be trying to do it. I'd try to mimic anything I seen, and I was really good at it. So, we didn't have, our style was a little different from everybody else. I mean, when we look at the West Coast and we're looking at the East Coast and what they were doing over in LA and in that area back then, they popping and locking, and then over here in New York and the breakdance stuff, we try to incorporate some of both. You know what I mean? Okay. So we would be a little bit different from it. And then we'd always throw in our own little classic stuff that we did. You know what I mean? So
that was the thing back then. Every area was different. That was what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, everybody had their own. Chicago had their style. I remember.
Yeah, Chicago had the bop.
Yeah.
They had the bop. You know what I mean? And so, people didn't, I met a brother from Chicago that came up here and I started dancing around with him when I was like in my high school days. And the brother would do these dances and I'd be going, what the hell is that? and he's like, y'all ain't doing no bop up here.
This.
And I was going, and I'm going, no, I ain't never seen that. You right, bro. You right. But I learned some stuff from him. Right. You know what I mean? And I take that as, I was learning and we were just, elevating ourselves to something different. So every time we got to doing stuff, man, it's like every time we put together a routine, man, we got better and better and better. And I'm talking me, Tony, and Kirk. We would pick up stuff, man. We'd see something and try it, and we would just always, our rehearsals were like a band putting together music. You know what I mean? We would be we'd rehearse and we would go over dance move. We'd do, 2-3 hours easy, like just nothing but put together this routine and go over it and over it and over it. One person would do it by itself and we want to make sure that he learned it. So that was the way we would figure out, if you didn't know something when we were doing it, have you do the routine by yourself. Okay. The next person would do it again. The next person would do it. And then we do it again, do it together.
Wow. So you guys had that work ethic. Go ahead.
That work ethic was there, bro. So, and then fast forward after we, started watching all the dance stuff, Prince called us to do that Madhouse. Or I take that. Yeah, it was Madhouse. I think it was Madhouse. They asked us to do Madhouse 10. Yeah. And we had no clue what we were going down there to do. And so he called us, asked us to come down, and we did Madhouse 10 and 13, which was the robbery and then the breakout, like the escape.
Now, was Kat Glover also a part of that in terms of the choreography with you guys?
No. She didn't choreograph none of that stuff we did. We choreograph our own stuff. Anything we did on video with him, we choreographed.
I got you. No, so okay. But do you remember, was she there at all?
Yeah, okay. They were around. Okay. Yeah. They were around. But they were doing everything. We doing what we do.
Yours. I got you. Yeah.
Whatever they did on their stage, when Kat was around her, that's what they were doing. Okay. But when we did videos and it was us, that's what you see on the videos. That's us. Okay. That's our choreography.
All right. What was it like? Well, two questions. Have you heard of Madhouse before you went to that? And the second question is, before you answer, the second question is, when you saw Mancina, what did you think?
No, we didn't. I hadn't heard of them. Outside of them giving us the tape and letting us listen to it, and we put together a little routine. And then when we went down there, starting to realize that production of a video was different from us just doing straight dance routine. There was a lot of acting getting ready to start, acting out parts and doing all that. So, Maxina, she was, man, when we first did that video, it was interesting because it was like set up like a play.
Oh, okay.
So us trying to do that, we were going, okay, so it's like a play and we're in jail. We're gonna rob this bank and blah, blah, blah. So we had to do all these little things. So each segment that we were filming, it was like, this is what you guys are going to do here, what you're going to do here, what you're going to do there. And, they had a script of what the scene was going to be leading up to whatever. Mm-hmm. But we kind of, some of the dance stuff that we did was just kind of like on the spur of the moment, what we're going to do on this part right here. Okay. What we're going to do right here.
Did Prince direct that video?
No, he was there, and he was there, and he'd say, when we get ready to do this, so what you guys are going to do right here. And that was just sort of the thing he did was, so what y'all going to do right here. It's like, okay, so this is the part y'all getting ready. We want to see the little dance choreography, what you got set up for that. And then we showed him what we had. Now, the little bitty scenes, like when we were sitting with her and she was mapping out how we were going to rob this bank, and we stood up and started going around her in a circle while she was showing us what we was going to be doing. Little things like that were just kind of spur of the moment. Okay.
Wow. So you guys, and did you do those two videos back to back, or was that like a separate time?
No, the 10 was done one time, and then a few months later, we got, called to do 13, which was The Escape.
Okay. I remember seeing those on BET, man. It was tripping out like, damn.
Yeah. We did too, because when we came down there, brother, we went and got our hair, fried, dyed, and put into finger waves.
Yeah, you had yours laid out, bro. I was like, these cats.
We had the wave going on, and Chris was like, man, I'm about to get sick over here looking at all these waves. He's like, hey, you funny, bro. You funny. And then he was asking, like, who y'all get to do your hair and that kind of stuff. And, we was letting him know who our hairdressers was and that stuff like that. And he was just like, oh, okay, you brothers are serious. They came down here with the hair and everything.
Oh, you came to the spot already, had your hair laid out.
Oh, yeah, dude. We wasn't trying to wait on them to try to do all that stuff with us.
Okay.
Look, well, we trying to make impressions. You hear me?
I feel you.
Look, we couldn't just come in there with just, can't you, don't you hair? Ain't combing and goddamn it, don't you try? We can't be coming up in there with looking like that.
Say no more. Okay.
That's that old country saying, can't comb it and goddamn it, don't you try? Can't you, don't you? That's what, when you hear somebody say that to you, you be like, uh-oh, they finna talk about my hair. But can't you, don't you? Can't comb it and goddamn it, don't you try?
I respect that. I respect your shit. That's right. Stay ready and got to get ready.
Right. Look, they ain't got to do nothing but throw makeup on if they want to. And we were funny about that stuff. Like, look, we're going to be sweating this shit out. Y'all can't put that all on me. Don't be slapping no powder on me. Give me some eyebrows if you can.
Hilarious.
So man. We came prepared, and I think that's what one of the things he dug about us was that he know if he tell us we're gonna do something, whatever, we gonna come there ready. We come in there ready. You ain't gonna be a whole bunch you have to do with us.
And was this filmed at Paisley Park at this time, or was that still before?
No, both of those were filmed downtown at this theater. It was one of the theaters that were downtown there. There was 3 of them at the time, but this one was kind of vacant. And we shot that down there, man. Shot it down there, and it was cool, man. It was cool. And it was funny because it wasn't like we had to do a lot of takes, but they just wanted to keep shooting it over and over and over, get different, views, different looks.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So after that time, there's a few years, there's a little break there until we get to Graffiti Bridge. When did he reach out to you? Oh, I know I was going to ask you too. Did Kirk already know Prince from earlier on?
Like I did. We saw him when Prince wound up going over to Central school. And that's, I think, where Kirk kind of seen him then, same as I did in high school when he was at North and come there to get his transcript. So that's where they kind of, crossed paths. Not that they knew each other. They just kind of crossed paths. Yeah.
Okay. And I didn't ask, but how did you and Tony meet each other?
Me and Tony met in high school. We went to North High, which is in, as they said, we're in the North Side. We went to North High. Me and Tony met. One day we were in the lunchroom and we were playing hot hands with a bunch of people.
Hot hands. I ain't heard that.
Yeah. So you know what it is, right?
Yes, sir.
You know what hot hands is. One brother got his hand turned up, the other one got his hand turned down, and you're trying to smack the daylights out of his hand, right? Until he give up, right? You want to hit him hard as you can until his hands be red. So I'm playing with my buddies, and he's over there with his boys, and they all came together talking about, hey, man, I bet my boy over here can beat you. And we like, what, nigga? No, dude, shoot. No, he ain't beating nothing here. And so, I was cocky about my hot hands. I was quick and, I was fast. You don't move your hands, Jack, I'll tear them jokers up.
That's terrible.
So me and Tony wind up playing hot hands against each other.
Hilarious.
And we were outside in the wintertime, so that was, it's cold. Brothers trying to smack each other's hands, and neither one of us wanted to give up because our hands was hurting.
I know some of the younger people listening to this like, what the heck? Remember, this is a time before cell phones and all that other stuff. We had to find stuff to do.
Exactly. Tell them, brother, it was before cell phones. These were the times when it said, have your butt in the house for them street lights come on and you're going to get a whooping. So hot hands and all them other little games you play, dude. We didn't have all that stuff, I mean, hide and go seed,
we had hide and go get it, which is a whole other game. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I had that when I went back home to Texas. But the ones up north didn't know nothing about that. They didn't know nothing about that. I wasn't gonna throw that one out there, but since you did,
right.
Look, y'all know Michael got some stories to tell too. So don't y'all.
I'm the one asking the questions today.
He asking the questions, but he got some stories. We might have to change this interview in a little bit. I'm gonna ask some questions next. So, Michael, how was it when you played hide and go get it? No.
I plead the fifth, man. I was a church boy. I don't know what you're talking about. That's actually worse.
And for y'all that don't know, church folks have fun too.
Yeah, I said that might be worse. Actually.
Anyway, we played hot hands, brother, and I mean, neither one of us wanted to quit, and it was freezing outside, dude. But we were smacking each other's hand, and it was like, all right, man, we just gonna call it truth, man. We like, all right, cool, and that's how me and Tony met. And we started being cool with each other after that, and then I wound up moving down to the what we called, the what you want to call them, the bricks. We called them the bricks back then, but it was the ghetto. It was the that's where everybody lived. They didn't have no money, and you living in the middle of it. But we wound up meeting again. It's like a little time went by. We graduated from high school. Tony went in the military.
Okay.
And I didn't, I hadn't thought nothing about it until I saw him again, and I was like, oh, and so we started kicking it. I'm playing ball over at this thing, and I see him come in, and I was like, dude, I said, man, like, Tom, where you been? He done been in the military and everything, and I'm like, oh wow, dude, damn. So now, we in our, mid-20s or whatever. I'm going, wow, dude, and found out he had been in the military and he had got out, and so that's when, after he had got out and we were living down in the 6th room, and that's when we got, he came to me and talked to me about going down to First Avenue and we're going to do the little dance thing. So that's how, then so our history go back to high school, you know what I mean?
To them hot hands. I hear that.
And hot hands, bro. And hot hands. And playing ball with each other. I mean, we played ball over at the local community center all the time too. So,
What was the vibe at First Avenue back then? Because I hear some of the conflicting things. I mean, so you said y'all was gonna go down there. Was black people going to First Avenue at this time? Was that the spot, or were there other clubs?
That was the spot. That was pretty much the spot for everybody going down there. I mean, most of the black folks here in Minnesota, they had a place called the Riverview that everybody went to.
Oh, okay.
Which was predominantly black owned and black people. That was the spot over in North Minneapolis. But First Avenue was downtown, and it was kind of a multicultural club.
Gotcha.
Everybody come down there. I don't care what color you were in First Avenue.
What kind of music would they be playing?
Oh, there are certain nights. I mean, they had certain nights they would play, like the R&B stuff and, all that kind of stuff. And then there was a night they played all the techno, that crazy stuff where they had people running on there, running into each other, head banging and craziness. And, them the nights I was trying to stay away from it because I was like, you run into me and you might catch a forearm. You're going to catch one of them WWE forearms, bruh. You're going to catch one of them in a minute if you run into me.
You doing slam dancing and all that?
No, I'll slam dance you all right. Scoop your ass up and have you slam you like a body slam, like a wrestler. And poof, if we're supposed to be doing that? How'd you like that one? Jump up here and do it again. Clotheslining motherfuckers in the motherfucker. Slam dance could have been me because I'd have been clotheslining people and spearing, suplex. It'd have been on and popping. They'd have been like, wait a minute, this ain't how we do it. Yeah, it is. You ran up on me first.
Like, he's good. He's so passionate
I like
about
this now. Yeah, I should have been down here a long time ago if we could just fight people and not get in trouble.
Oh, man. All right.
But the vibe was this kind of culture. It was like multicultural type thing down there, man. Everybody had fun. People doing their thing. It was just cool. Like I said, they had a great Pretenders night. And that's when you could go down there and be anybody you wanted to, lip sync the song. It was like a lip sync thing. So I met a brother that's from here. His name is Fancy Ray McCloney. He was
Fancy Ray. I know him.
Fancy Ray, right? That brother was down there.
Yeah,
he was down there doing Little Richard.
Yes,
he was doing Little Richard, nigga, big time.
Fancy. Let me say this, and shout out to Fancy Ray. This was a couple years ago when I came out there. And it was when they was doing the Prince at the big screen thing or something.
Oh, yeah.
And I was in that auditorium or whatever that place was called. And I seen Fancy Ray. I didn't know who he was, but I saw him and I was like, that's a pimp. That motherfucker like a pimp nigga or something. Like he was suited, booted, permed out, and he had the white lady.
Always.
I was like,
always.
I was like, oh, okay. I was like, oh, he's cold. And he's like, he looked over at me. He's a Michael Dean. And listen, I didn't know him. He's like,
right.
He said, you Michael Dean? I said, yeah. He said, oh man, I listened to the show, man. And we took a picture and stuff together, but he was a cool dude, man. Cool dude.
Yeah, cool. Fancy's always been, man, real easy to walk up to and talk to. Yeah. Been knowing him for years as well, man. And at the time, dude, the Great Pretenders, that brother was killing people down there with his, he would do Cab Calloway.
Okay.
He'd do some other, do the Little Richard thing. He was, but Little Richard was his stuff. And I mean,
I can see that. Yeah, he's got that style. Mm-hmm.
Now, fast forward, I'm gonna tell you a funny story. One of the times we went down there and he did his little thing, and he came out and he did this. I don't know if it was like some kind of original thing, but his dude started talking about eating chicken wings and talking and messing with some girl's foot. Now he on the stage. And he's doing this song, and he's talking about eating chicken wings, and he's down at this woman's foot, and he's talking about kissing her feet and licking her toes or something, and talking about putting, barbecue sauce on her feet or something. Man, the people started throwing shit at this nigga. I was like, what in the hell is going on out here? And now, mind you, me, Kirk, and Tony's finna go up there and do a little performance after he's done.
Oh. Man.
And now he done got the people all riled up and shit. We were like, oh, hell no, nigga. We got to go up there behind this. Thankful for us that we were good enough to curb that energy. you know.
Fancy Ray.
Yeah, Ray,
boy.
That's my boy. I love that brother, man, to death. We still cool to this day. We still talk every now and then, man. And he's always been Fancy Ray.
That's right. Salute to him.
Who he is.
Yeah. Yeah. And he got don't he have, he does commercials and stuff. I see him.
Oh, yeah, he does local commercials, some national commercial stuff. He's always been. He produces them his own self, all that. Yeah,
man. Salute to that cat, man. I saw the hustle, and I was like, okay, yeah, he getting his bag. He's doing him. I respect it.
Right. And don't get me wrong, Prince knew who Fancy Ray was too.
I bet he did.
We mentioned Fancy Ray. He said, "Y'all know him?" Yeah, bro. We know him. Who don't know Fancy Ray? If you don't know Fancy Ray, you ain't been to Minnesota.
Right.
Let's put it that way. He like a staple like Prince was.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah. All right, man. Okay, so I forgot where we were at with this. We were talking about the clubs and the different vibes.
Yeah,
and stuff
like the vibe at the clubs and that stuff. So yeah, most of the clubs, except for like First Avenue, had its own culture down there. You had a variety of different people, folks come down there and have fun, man. And then there was some suburb clubs that all had their little thing going on. But brothers was back then, and I'm gonna say this because most people don't really understand. Minnesota is predominantly white.
Right.
The percentage of blacks here is very small, but it seems like when you come here and you go to like North Minneapolis, you go downtown and you go to something there, you see a lot of black people, you be like, and most people come here and be like, damn, I didn't know there was that many black people here.
That's how I did. That's how I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it, but downtown is right off North Minneapolis and off South Minneapolis and in the little areas. So you're going to see the black folks live closer to downtown. They were the ones that live right in them little surrounding little cities that are right there. Now, when you start spreading it out to Brooklyn Center, when you start spreading it out to Eagan, when you start spreading it out to Mounds View and Woodbury and them places, well, then it's the culture changes. It's like there's so many out there, but there was clubs out in them places where me and Tony and them, we'd be going out there because we want to see what that club playing music was. And you go out there, what do you think they trying to play? What do you think these people was trying to dance to? All the R&B stuff, all the hip hop, anything.
Okay.
And we was out there getting our groove on. Now, mind you, there's some nights we go to some of these clubs and you had them, them white dudes that looking at you like, what the hell is y'all doing out here? Like, yeah, and then we out here, first of all, we out here to get our groove on. Secondly, your women like it. Because they want to dance. Since y'all got an attitude, y'all want to stand over there and drink beer, they want to dance. Just being real. I'm just being honest.
It was at the door. Wrong night, boy.
Right. It wasn't so much like down south, but up this way, it's a hidden agenda when it comes to the racism thing. I know
exactly what you mean.
So,
yeah.
So, it was different when we went to clubs. I mean, we didn't get bothered. We didn't, we wasn't nobody testing us because we weren't no little bitty brothers. Now, trust me. We both, me and Tony both standing 6'3", and we ain't no little fellas. If you decide you want to come at it, you better make sure you come with an army. As Prince used to say, you better bring an army if you want to mess with me. Because I'm an army within myself.
Hilarious. Now you just reminded. Let me jump to something real quick, and we're gonna go back into our story. But you just mentioned the army. There is a rehearsal footage from the new tour that's out there circulating on video. Excuse me. And it's toward the end of the rehearsal. It's like a couple hours, whatever. And it's hard to hear, but it looks like Prince and Miko, and shout out to Miko, look like they started to have some words. I don't know if you remember, this is many years ago, obviously, but it looked like they was getting into it to the point where it looks like Miko walks off and Prince is like, and again, I'm a fan, so you don't normally see this side of Prince, but it looked like Prince was like barking on him, like ready to get it popping, like, nah, nigga, or something like that. Do you remember anything like that happening?
Well, I don't know what footage it is that anybody may have. I can remember a rehearsal where Prince and Miko had got into it. And it was, kind of petty, the way it came off. Miko was a little late for rehearsal. Prince was notorious for wanting you to be there on time, be set and ready when I walk in the room, type stuff. So, most of the time everybody knew, what time rehearsal was. You're going to be there, you be there and get your thing going or whatever. And so this particular rehearsal, Miko was a little late, so he was coming in and everybody's up there and he starts to plug in and trying to get his stuff tuned or whatever. And Prince calls for the song to start. And so they start the song playing, whatever. And then Miko wasn't, set yet. And Prince looked over and like, it's supposed to be your part. He said, man, you see me, plugging in, you see me getting in. He said, well, if you'd have been here, we'd have been, so it was like, everybody just kind of like, okay, all right, whatever. And then he says, all right, we're going to start again. And then he starts the thing again. And sure enough, Miko wasn't quite set yet. And he said something to him again. And Miko was like, damn, man, you see I'm trying to get to there. He said, well, you should get in. And then words started flying. And it was like, okay, what the hell's going on now? What's going on here? And they started yapping back and forth at each other. And, it led from one thing to another and words. Nigga, I quit this. Like, oh, no, you won't quit, nigga. I fire you. Blah, blah. And then it's like, nigga, well, you ain't going to do shit. You ain't going to do shit. And then before you knew it, your brother was talking about going outside and want to fight.
Yeah.
And we was like, what the hell's going on now? So, and you see Miko, like, put his stuff down, like, come on, nigga, I ain't scared of you. And Prince like, I ain't scared of you either. And next thing you know, they get ready to leave. And it was funny to me is because the brother shimmied out of his jacket. Prince
Stop.
And we was coming, we leaving, we see him leaving to go outside, and Prince, when they get ready to get to the door, he shimmied out that cut. Man, I ain't getting it. I was like, oh shit, these niggas, they getting ready to have it. and it was too funny because Levi stepped in and stopped it and, just kind of said, man, come on, man, y'all, So we get back into the rehearsal. We go back to the stage in the sound room, sound stage, and Miko's like, man, I don't need this shit, man. Fuck that. I'm done, da-da-da-da. And Prince was like, no, you ain't quitting. I just, and they went back and forth. And then Miko was just like, I'm done. And packed his guitar and boom, that was it. He quit after that day.
Really?
Yeah. He just walked. He's like, I'm done. I ain't putting up with this.
Interesting. This was on the new. Had you guys already been on tour?
This was after the new tour.
Okay.
This was after the new tour.
Wow. Now let me ask you this. This is just all in much respect to both of these brothers there. But who would have got washed if they had walked out there?
Say that again?
Who would have got washed up if they would have went out there and threw hands?
Washed up?
Yeah. Who would, if they would have started throwing hands out there between Miko and Prince?
Yeah.
What would have been the outcome of that?
Honestly, Prince was a little wiry, and I probably think he'd be a little quick, but I think Miko would have handed him his ass. I think Miko would have been like, no, nigga, but until the bodyguard jumped in and, start helping. I'm kicking his ass. They're going to kick me now. Motherfucker, hit me.
Hilarious.
I mean, Prince is, I know Miko was, could handle his business if it came down to that kind of stuff. But I'd never know Prince to be a fighter until that night, that day. And when I, they were all that shit they were talking, I was going, oh shit. He said, I'll kick your ass. Nigga, I'm talking about kicking each other's ass. So I don't know. I can't really call it, but I think, if I'm looking at it, Miko was like 6'1".
Oh, man.
6 foot.
And
6
from Oakland, too?
5'11", 6 foot.
From
Oakland?
Yeah,
come on, man. Listen. I know Prince was up here, and I know he had to fight his battles when he was young, and, he had to always, protect himself, but them niggas in Oakland ain't no joke. They sort of like us niggas from down Texas. We ain't no joke. Look, we handle business, and when we do things, we do it big.
All right. Well, let's get off of that because I know some of these fans. How dare you talk about it like that? We're just having fun. Stop.
Here, let me help you. Let me help you out real quick. Y'all just relax. It's okay. They never fought. There were just words, and they ended it on a peaceful note. Okay.
There you go. Straight from Damon. There you go.
They were still friends even after Miko left. How about that?
And that's how you're supposed to be.
And that's family. That's like that, like you have a brother who you got a biological brother and y'all get into a little scrap. Y'all still gonna go home and eat dinner together.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So calm down. Anybody got an attitude about that, they need to relax. Relax.
Don't do it. Yeah. Oh man. Okay. So the new tour or Graffiti Bridge, actually, that's where I wanted to go. So what was it like when you got that, you guys got that call and I guess to be invited into this new band situation?
Yeah, well, we just before that, me, Tony, and Kirk had got snubbed going on tour a couple times. The last time being the one where he took Wally and Brooke and Jerome out with him.
Oh, the parade?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys went on that?
No, we didn't get a chance to. He brought them guys out. So
interesting. Okay.
Fast forward, they were rehearsing to go out on the road, and he had us do this song called Glam Slam.
Mm-hmm.
And we came out there to do, and this is, Paisley Piper's up and running at that point.
That's right. That's
so
right.
So we went out there to do the Glam Slam video.
That's
now
right.
Thinking, brothers were getting ready to, he asked us to come out there and do this video, and while the band's playing, and we finna get ready to go on the road. Dude, we did that video, that shit hit, Friday night videos and all that, and we were like, woo, we did it again, bro. We done hit the screen again. And we getting ready to go on a tour, because brothers, y'all want to go on tour? Yeah, let me go back to say that how you did. You guys ready to go on tour? Oh, yeah. Like, psych.
Wow.
Did he just say psych? Right. So we were like, oh, wow, dang. So we looked up a few months later, they going out on the road, we're seeing videos and we're going, and brother, we went down and to this place called Nankins, and me, Tony, and Kirk went in there and had a little food and got us this thing called Wonder Punch, which had about 30 damn liquors in it and shit, one big ass punch bowl thing. And we had a couple of those joints, dude, and you didn't take us this time either, man. The hell wrong with him? Man, we put all this work in. And so after that day, dude, we started talking about what can we do to make, put ourselves out there a little more, because the dance thing was kind of dying down. Wasn't getting as many shows as we could dance-wise and that. So we started talking about music, started talking about putting together a band. And, Kurt's a drummer by trade.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And Tony played a little guitar or whatever and stuff. And, and at that time, Tony was into kind of writing lyrics before we even got into the Prince and stuff. So we all started putting together a band, and the band, we went from a dance group, which was called Split Level, and we put together this band and became the MPLS band, which was the name of the band was Multi-Talented Players Laying Sound. So we took the first letter off of each one of those and called it MPLS.
Nice. Okay.
And so we put together this band and got some local musicians who were some of the top stuff around the city and put together shows, started, practicing and saying, hey, we're going to put this band, we're going to try to hit this college circuit, and whatever club will let us come in and put a little something on, whatever, and that's what we did up until he called and asked us, to come down there and wanted us to be a part of Graffiti Bridge. Now, I think the thing that sold him, we did a show after we had did all these other shows, we did a Christmas party for KMOJ radio station. And he came down to see that show. And when we did that show, we came out as hard as we could because, you know, we didn't know he was going to come, but we were just wanting to, you know, put it on video and make sure that we, you know, did. And we did that show. And then that night, dude, he saw it and he was just kind of like, oh, y'all didn't tell me you guys play music and sing and dance, all that other stuff you doing. Like, dude, you never asked. You just told us to, you know, you want us to come dance. So we come dance. You paying us handsomely, you know, played us cool to come dance, and we don't do that. Mm. So after we saw it, it was like, y'all need to come out to Paisley and blah, blah, blah. So we did that and got a chance to go out there. And then we were rehearsing one night over at Kurt's mother's house over south. And we were rehearsing one night. I can remember us being in there, putting together a show, trying to make, and then Kirk came in and he's like all excited, talking about, yeah, man, I just got a call and, you know, they want me to come be a DJ for Prince. And we were like, what? What, nigga? What you just say? And he's like, yeah, man, they want me. We like, okay, this brother ain't no DJ. He a drummer. You know, and a dancer. So we like, okay, what the hell's going on? So, you know, they wind up inviting us all out. Thanks to Levi. Levi was, you know, kind of pitching and saying, man, you can't just have one without the other one, man. Them brothers been doing this too long, whatever. And we go out there and we're sitting around and, you know, Kirk's up there, you know, doing the DJ thing and, you know, well, pretending to be. And we just kind of sitting there and I'm going, what the hell are we doing just sitting around? I mean, you know, they playing music and we still sitting. Ain't nobody said much or nothing. And, you know, fast forward the next night, I decided I'm not coming out there to sit like that, dude. I got 2 other jobs I got to be out here doing shit. And so the next night, Tony called me after he went out there the next time, and he's like, hey, man, he said, why didn't you come out? I'm like, dude, I'm not coming out there just to sit around. I got 2 fucking jobs, dude. I got 2 jobs and a baby mama over here that I live with. Yeah, I need to take care of some things. Right. And he said, man, well, they were asking and whatever. And then Craig Rice called me, who was managing at the time, and asked me to come out there. He said, yeah, man, the other 2 guys are here. Why didn't you come out? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, I got 2 jobs. Unless this shit is, you know, for real, I can't be just sitting around, man. I got to make money. And he like, yeah. So he had me come out there. I wound up signing a contract, and then that's when we got into the band. It was like 89 or so.
Wow. And
then they were talking about the Graffiti Bridge movie and all that stuff. And now, mind you, we still had our band thing going, and we had a couple of engagements that we had to commit. We had already committed to, and we couldn't just, you know, say no, that we're not going to do that. So when they started filming Graffiti Bridge, we had, you know, a couple shows that we had to go do because we had already signed to do them as MPLS.
Wow. What was it like being in that movie or being around that set? Was it different than what you remember from the Purple Rain days?
Oh yeah. Because that was we were actually part of his band. We were what he was calling us in the movie was the new power generation. And that's when we became a part of his band. So that atmosphere was different. We were, you know, you was treated like you were, you know, the talent and not just, you know,
some extras.
And extras. You know what I mean? So it was cool. I being the first time ever being in something on that scale again and knowing that feeling, it was cool, man. I can't complain. There was nothing like being a part of that, you know, and having all these people, you know, talking to you, telling you this is what you're going to do, this is what's happening here, this and that, and just that adrenaline rush, knowing that you were doing something that was, you know, great. You know, it was fun. I mean, I've never traded for the world, dude. It was incredible, you know. And then the fact that we were, you know, actually having conversation with this brother and he's telling us what his view is, what he's going to do, and this is what it is. And, you know, watching him, he's actually directing it. So,
right.
You know, did not move in there unless he said so.
So you saw the real boss Prince, like.
Oh yeah. That's what you already kind of had a feeling he was running things, but that's when you really started knowing that he had his hand on everything and everybody. You're gonna listen to me. This is how it is. This is what I want, and this is how it's supposed to be done. So, all you did was get on the boat and road with him. Let him do the driving. You know what I'm saying?
Well, did you?
And I always said this back in the day. He was like a chef, man. He was the head chef in a kitchen. And he had all these other little people that was, you over here cutting up the onions, you over here cutting up this, you frying up the bacon over there, you do this, and we're going to put this together. This meal going to be off the chain.
Did you, when you guys were making the movie, did you yourself have an idea of what the movie was about? Was that clear to you?
Yeah, it was, because when they told us that, it was a spinoff, supposed to be the sequel to Purple Rain is what it was supposed to be. And which was part of what it was. It just, in my opinion, it didn't pan out as great as they wanted it to be. But it still was a spinoff of that whole scenario, the Purple Rain thing. The only thing, Morris was more business-like. He was, out to buy up all their clubs so that nobody else could be performing but them. And Prince had his own club and was like, nope, I'm not letting you do that. So it was sort of a spinoff of that Purple Rain, the rivalry, the bands against each other type thing.
Right.
So, so we did know what it was about and stuff, so but it was cool. Like I said, there was a lot of scenes that got cut out too, from certain things. I know there was one scene where we was battling against the time out in the middle of the street sort of thing. And this one particular time they had us, face off against them and they were playing his music and saying stuff. And Prince thought it would be really funny if we all were standing there and was doing like the old Western days. They on their end, we on our end, we looking at each other, standing down there and throwing cat fight, throwing, your mama jokes at each other type stuff.
Wow. Okay.
And in that, once they said some stuff and got funny, we had some duplicates of their hats, the ones that wore hats in the band, Jesse, and Jelly Bean and somebody else had Monty Moore. They all had hats on, right?
Okay.
So they thought it would be funny if we found some duplicates and we threw them down on the ground and stomped on their hat. Well, that kind of triggered some real attitudes. The niggas thought they was really their hats, and they was like, hey! Niggas stepping on my shit, I'm glad you kicked out. You're like, it's his idea, nigga. It's his idea.
Just acting.
No, it's just acting. It's just acting.
So wow, they was taking it for real a little bit, huh?
Well, you done took their personal hats, bruh.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. But it really wasn't their hats, but it was funny because that little scene got cut up out of there, so nobody ever really got to see that. But it was hilarious, the expression on them brothers' face.
Wow, I wish I could see that.
I wish we could have seen that too. That would have been funny.
Wow. Well, when the movie came out, were you guys already on the new tour? Because I can't remember the time of that.
No, the new tour came up after that.
Okay. I thought he was like editing. I thought he was editing some of the movie while he was on the road or something like that.
While we was out on the road. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was there a big premiere that you guys went to for this movie?
For Grease, I don't recall going to the premiere of it. I can't remember if we went to a premiere at all.
Okay, I remember Prince.
I think we were all out on the road.
Okay.
And
there was some kind of premiere.
I remember showing.
It was on MTV or something. I remember them. It wasn't a whole program, but I remember them seeing a news clip, and Prince had like all white on or something. But,
right.
But I don't know if the whole band wasn't at that situation.
Yeah, I don't recall going to anything like that. But I know he had a private little screening of where we could see it.
Okay. What'd you guys think of it when you watched it for the first time?
My honest opinion, when I saw it, I was like, all the music stuff was cool, but I was like, the whole, what if the story was like, Really? Okay. Whatever. It really wasn't, to me, it wasn't that great of an idea. But, hey, I'm just there doing what I'm told to do.
I'm just here so I don't get fired. What did my man say?
Like, yeah, some of the stuff was like, okay, yeah, all right.
Interesting.
All right.
Well, what came out of that, though, was a hell of a tour, man. Like the new tour was, that was fire, man.
I'm telling you, the new tour was what we called it was a stripped down show. It wasn't fancy, wasn't a whole lot of light thing like that. It was more, performance and what you saw on stage, the energy we brought. That new tour was raw, like raw.
Mm. What was that like going to those rehearsals? And that was your first time? Was that your first time with the,
that was the first time. Yeah, first tour, first time full rehearsal. Dude, we rehearsed all day, man, from 1 to 7 or 8 in the evening. And then even after that, there was times people would be coming to the studio. He'd call you for studio stuff here and there, stuff, dude. So you were kind of like around the clock, always busy. Always busy. And that was our first, me, Tony, and Kirk's first tour to get out on, and go out on the road with. So it was interesting and it was exciting. Everything was new. The rehearsal, we had to learn every damn song you could think of. Dance-wise, we had to put together routines for so many damn songs, man, and just be ready at the drop of a dime. Like, cause some of them nights on the tour, he would call out something we hadn't even played, like on tour, or we just did something in rehearsal, just a smidgen of it or whatever, and then he'd call it out, and we're doing it in the show, and we're like, oh shit, we scrambling to make sure we remember what we did on that song, and then what we could remember. If you didn't remember it all, then you were ad-libbing, coming up with some shit right there on the spot. Wow. And he was good at throwing that stuff at you like that too. You better be ready. But when that opportunity comes, he's looking, he's trying to see. He's trying to see if you can handle it.
Man, so this brings me to this period here and then going into the Diamonds and Pearls. You guys, and for me, it was Diamonds and Pearls. I saw the new tour sort of after the fact, but when you guys came out with Get Off and the Arsenio stuff, the MTV Awards, that was a whole new Prince to a lot of people. He changed his style up and just the imagery, and then with you guys and the dancing. Where do I start? Like, one, and then you have Rosie's in the band. It's a new band and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
How, as it was coming together, could you tell, like, man, this is going to be something special. They're going to trip when they see this. Like, because you guys had a lot of the moves with Prince, even with Prince doing the choreography. And I was curious how that worked as well. Yeah.
Right. Oh, man. When we started, even in the new tour, when all that stuff was getting written, all the music was being done while we were on the new tour.
Okay.
So that was already being in process. So mind you, Diamond and Pearl came out, 92?
I believe so, yep. Mm-hmm.
Graffiti Bridge was in 89, 90?
Yep.
So 90, when we went on tour, we were already working on Diamonds and Pearl.
Okay.
While we were doing the new tour.
Got it.
So you think about that. That's, you talking 2 years before Diamond and Pearl came out. We had already been working on it, the choreography, the show, you name it. The music was already being done. Like, dang near every place you went, there was always a studio. Somebody was going to the studio. Somebody was going to do this. Somebody was going to lay a track here. Somebody was going to do this. And then, by the time we finished the new tour, we were already working on Diamond and Pearl, what it was going to look like. And, and like I said, he's a chef, dude. He had already had in mind what he wanted to serve up to everybody.
Wow.
It was already in the work. There was no space in between where it was a stop and go, what we gonna do now? No, there was none of that. It just rolled from Diamond and Pearl, from the Graffiti Bridge, went right into Diamond and Pearl. We were rehearsing for that stuff. Now, Diamond and Pearl was a whole 1,000% change from the new tour. We went from stripped down, straight up, just raw, we hitting you hard in the face, new tour, to bright lights, a lot of action stuff going on. The music was incredible, you know, and he making sure, I mean, we had to step up our game as for choreography because we were doing some of the moves. He's like, I want to do that. I want to be in that part. I want to be on this part. We like, really? You gonna jump in here? Like, okay, dude, look here. Don't say nothing when you out of breath now, brother, because we be dancing. This ain't no punk over here now, nigga. You ain't got us up here for nothing. You know we stepping.
This is what we do.
So, you know, and you know, we be talking stuff like, all right, then you stepping in my shit now. So we came on your stage and we had to follow you. Now you gonna get over here to dance, but you need to be on point. And we were letting him know, dude, don't mess up. We Doc Brothers messing up, man. And he looking at us like, oh, these niggas got jokes. And so, but he jump in, man. He jump in. Now, every once in a while, he'd be like, I don't like going to that way. Can we go the other way? No, nigga, that's the way we put it together right here. You mean, can we go the other way? Did you see? You just watched it, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's which way we going, bro. I mean, you know.
Wow.
Can we change your stuff? That's my question. Can we change yours? Well, no, brother, you can't change ours.
Listen.
But it was cool though, because we had never seen him dance and none of the other stuff we've always watched, all the other stuff with tours. I mean, he did some stuff with Cat back in the day in Cat and Robin Powers.
Oh,
he
right.
did a little dance stuff with them.
Right.
But that was more like they were just, I mean, it was, you know, the little dance thing that everybody knows them from there, that little thing they did where they were marching toward each other and they do that little double step and then march past each other type stuff. We like, dude, this is dancing. This ain't none of that stuff you was doing with them. Not to say they wasn't doing their thing, but we dancing back here, bro. And he jumped in and he learned, and that's when I noticed that he was paying attention to every freaking move we did. And memorizing it.
Was he like the kind of cat that would be watching what you were doing, and then he must have been like practicing on his own or something, or he just pick it up? Like, it seemed like,
you know what? I know he picked up stuff. He picked up stuff real well, and we show him do it. You know, we did, you know, routines, and he'd jump in and learn the move or whatever. And like we told him, like, dude, you're going to be singing, so there's some parts you ain't going to be able to hit. Now, mind you, when we were getting funky, sometimes he'd look back and be like, shit, I'm hitting this shit with this nigga, get ready to do this part right here. and we'd be like, that brother, he'd be on it. Like on our Arsenio Hall show, when that came, when we did that show, we had been, you know, the show had been rolling. And he was on point.
Yeah.
He was on point. Every move we did that he wanted to be, he's right there.
Yeah, y'all killed that, man.
Oh man,
y'all killed
trust me, dude. That was one of the highlights of doing that show, because he told Arsenio that we wouldn't do it unless he do the whole night, and then he wasn't gonna do it unless he had Patty on there hosting it with him. And dude, we was killing it. And you know, when Arsenio was out, that was the show to watch that night.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
And when they said we was going to be on there, bruh, we was like, that was like the highlight for us. Because we had went on, when Graffiti Bridge was on, we went there and did something with Kevin Campbell.
Right, that's right.
And we did that round and round. Well, Arsenio tried to play us, brother, like he, you know, we weren't nothing, and it was just Kevin. And he was talking to Kevin. He didn't say nothing to none of us. And we were like, oh, wow. So fast forward when he talked about coming there to do the whole show with Prince, and he come to the rehearsal, and he's like, yeah, I remember the band, yeah. And we all had already told Prince that the brother tried to, didn't even acknowledge us when we were there. And he's like, oh, really? We're like, yeah. So, bro, don't get mad because we gonna roast him, dude, when he come in here. And Prince knew, dude, we had cat fight. We talk about a person in a heartbeat and didn't mean nothing. Look, and Prince knew it. He knew it. His mother get out of line, yo, is that right, nigga? Okay. I ain't got something for your punk ass. Yeah. we were quick to cap on a dude. So, that day, brother, we were doing a rehearsal, and that brother came in and he said, yeah, I remember that. He's like, yeah, remember, bro? You didn't even say nothing to it. You didn't even talk to him, brother. He was like, oh, no, I spoke to him. No, you didn't, bro. No, we didn't. We were roasting him. And Prince just kind of faded back from it, like moved out the way and let us have it. And then when he got through, he said, yeah. He said, well, I do it. So we were sitting there going, yeah, that brother didn't want that. So he come, I sit there and go, he said, well, man, I apologize. I thought I spoke to you. No, you know what you did, bro. Calm down.
He's on that Hollywood shit, huh?
Don't come, yeah, you on that Hollywood crap. Don't do that, brother, because you got some real brothers here. All right? We all from the hood, bro. We'll call you out and roast you. And so we wind up getting on the show, dude, and then he was a whole different character. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Damon, real quick, Damon, I want to make sure you're speaking into the phone and kind of getting a little muffled there. Make sure we get you clear.
Okay.
But so and at around the same time as this Arsenio thing, I think it was actually before you guys did the MTV Awards where you did Get Off. The infamous.
Yeah, well, we did Get Off.
The butt out. Did you know he was going to wear that outfit beforehand?
Nah. Interesting story, dude. We did our little prayer before we walked out on stage, as we always did. And he had a trench coat on. And so, nobody's paying attention or really thinking. But we in LA, dude, you got a trench coat on in the middle of summer, bro. What the hell's going on? So, we get on stage, dude, the lights went down and brother took his coat off and threw it. And he did that little scream. Ow! And then the light came up and I'm standing there looking like, what in the... And brother's like, D, you got to fall on him.
Whoa.
I'm like, oh, shit. So, yeah, if you go back and look at that, that was, so everybody want to talk about when planking started. I started planking. Okay? I planked my ass off over that nigga that night. So anyway, I fell on this bus because we did this thing. If you go back and look at the video, we did this thing where we're standing there and then I fell, Tony fell, and then Kirk fell, and then we all slid up off of him and then we started the show.
Yeah, what was that all about? What was that move?
Look, brother, it was just a move. We had been doing this move before we knew he wasn't going to have on no draw thing, pants, whatever y'all want to call that. The niggas deli air, yellow deli air, all out in the public to see. We had been doing the move before that, you know what I mean? And so we thought it was pretty, he liked it. For whatever reason, he thought that was a cool move. Because me, Tony, and Kirk did it with each other, and then we just kind of slid off, did this backup thing. Well, he wanted to be in the middle of it. So we're like, all right, nigga, whatever. I was like, we all, we ain't no little brothers, man. You going to have like 300-400 pounds on your ass. So, when we got ready to hit it, and brother's like, D, you got to fall. I'm like, oh, shit. So in my head, I'm thinking, I got to fall on this nigga on national TV. People going to see this. So, I'm thinking, I fell and I immediately put my arms like in a lock position to not be on him. And then the brothers fell on me. And so, when we pulled back, if you look at that video now you're going to go back and look at it. I know when you find it, you're going to go back and look at it. And you're going to see me backing up trying to not look at his ass. Like, no, nigga, no, I'm not doing that, nigga. No, we ain't, okay. Yeah. All right. Let's finish the show.
23 positions in a one-night stand.
You know? And I was trying my best. Now, I know there's probably some ladies out there that probably would have been like, I'd have been looking all up in that.
Of course.
And then there's probably a couple brothers that would have been, me too. But I wasn't. But I wasn't. I was trying my best. I'm like backing up going, oh my God, this brother, I cannot believe that this nigga had his pants cut out in the back like that. Yeah, that was just incredible to me.
He was a wild boy.
See, I'm going to tell you what's funny. When we rehearsed for that out in LA, you know, MTV and Arsenio and them all came to see what song we were doing. And they wanted to make sure that he didn't pull nothing funny.
Right.
So at the rehearsal, of course, he ain't going to show you what he's doing on live, you know. So they were like, fine and dandy. And that night, afterwards, you heard all the rumors. They said, yeah, them people, MTV people was like, didn't y'all know he was getting ready to do that? You're like, nah, nobody had that in mind. Not even the band knew.
Damn. And
yeah, that was a surprise.
Yeah, that was, and you know, I know for some people now that weren't around, they kind of questioning, but back then Prince was known for doing some wild stuff to the point where, like you said, they want to know what he was going to do.
They
want
to know what we ain't going to put this on TV if that brother, what he finna do? Y'all need to go to his rehearsal, see what he doing so we be safe.
Right.
You know, this is what they call it now. It's family TV. Well, the family got to see ass that day. Sorry.
Yeah, this is before Janet. This is before Janet up the stakes.
Right, this was before Janet and the accidental pull of the breast thing. Yeah.
Right.
As if y'all ain't never seen a boob before. Or an ass. Come on.
Right. I wonder if there would be the Prince of today, what he would whip out. You know.
Ooh, Lord. I'm not. I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not even gonna go there, bro.
They got to up the stakes. They got to up the stakes now, boy.
Look. There was some things I've witnessed when I was on stage next to the brother and be going, "Nigga, you ain't got no drugs, man."
Oh, Lord.
What's going on
really
over
going
here,
on?
bro?
Exactly.
What is really going on right here?
See, if you can ask that question and be in the band, that's what I was out, you know, as a fan. Like,
exactly. Look, bro. Look, there was time this brother, you know, and he had a knack of always wanting to tell brothers, take your shirt off.
Interesting.
Who, me? Nigga, I ain't big as these other brothers. I got a bird chest. I don't got an Arnold Schwarzenegger chest, nigga. I got the bird chest, nigga. What you mean take our shirt off? And I ain't as fine as you. They ain't gonna like me naked, nigga.
Oh man.
Yeah, they don't like dark chocolate looking all slim and they like the little yellow brother. Come on, man. Why I gotta take my shirt off? Of course, you know, Tony and Kirk, they were some big brothers, so they had little meat on them and stuff. So when they took their stuff off, you know, I'm putting the women like, woo, yeah. And I pulled my shirt, oh shit, what's that? Anyway.
Oh man. Oh. Yeah, I'm over here crying. And during the same period, there was the Get Off, the music video, the home video actually, which was an innovative thing. I remember when that came out, Rush to Tower Records picked that up, watching it, and I'm like, oh, this is the shit. And every mix of the song had its own video.
Oh,
but
man.
again, I got to ask you about, is a classic one, Gangsta Glam. And
man.
That was, you know, Tony got his chance to, he was getting on the mic. But in that video, there was a scene, it was a little pool or something, but Prince had on what we've been saying, it was the mankini thing, and that was another one.
Right. That was
when you walked on set and you saw that. Walk me into that.
That was actually Gangsta Glam, the song, and that whole, because you have to let Tony tell you about that story when he had to go over to the brother's house, and they were gonna film that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what was funny, hold on a second, this TV just, I don't know, the thing got his own mind. You just gonna come on like that? You just don't tell me? I need you to shut down. Shut down now. I mean, all of a sudden the darn TV just came on, and I'm like, what the hell just happened here?
They got you wiretapped.
Okay, there we go. I'm like, TV just came on by itself. Anyway, but you have to ask Tony about that, man. It was too funny because Tony was explaining to us afterwards, dude, and I started laughing. I said, what? And so when we saw the video, I'm thinking to myself, I said, what he had on, a what? And he said a Mancini. So at the time, I'm going, what the hell is a Mancini? Nigga, what the hell is that? And brother was like, he said, man, he come out there and he wanted me to be in one of those. So when I saw the video, I was like, oh, no, bro, I'm glad you didn't. Yeah, I'm glad you had to tell that brother you ain't putting that on. Because that would look real funny, bro. Really, for real. For really real, bro. You know.
Oh,
but all that video from the Get Off stuff, we cut so many different videos from that song itself. You had the house version, the mixed version, you had the long extended version, you had all these different versions. Violet the organ grinder was straight off of Get Off and that old stuff and all that. So
it was all fire.
There was a lot of stuff going on. Oh man, yeah. And then the fact that that whole Get Off thing was based on calligraphy, that movie. And so at the time we're thinking, well, shoot, what is he getting ready to do? So then we had all these extras coming in from different places. I'm going, oh my God, these people half dressed. You got dudes walking around trying to show they junk, and the women, half dressed and bronze, gold painted, and you're like, well, God dang, look at this.
Wow.
So, again, here's that country boy in me. I'm sitting there going, I'm like, oh my Lord, look at what's no, you shit. She ain't got nothing. Ooh, look over here. The whole like, what in the hell is just going on right now? So it was all interesting and fun and but he's just a lot of the stuff he did, man, he had a plan on how he wanted to look, what was going to be. It was interesting, man. It was interesting and learning process for all of that, because you see it and go, okay. Wow. And that's what he's doing. So, but after a few minutes, you knew what it was, and you knew what he was trying to get into.
What was it like for you in terms of the response you were getting from fans and things of this nature? Because anything that was associated with Prince was, super hot and big. Like, now you're in the band, literally in the band. What was it like for you in terms of the fan response?
Oh man, just people knowing, that's being a part of that, and people always wanted to ask you certain things. Of course they, a lot of the questions from, brothers was, man, is he gay? No, not that I know of. Not from what I've seen and all the women I done seen around him. No, ain't no gayness going on here. Ain't nothing funny about that brother. And women were just like, they just was fascinated with him. Anybody that, and these were people that, even celebrity people that would come to Paisley Park and see him live or just come there to just talk and hang out. They just be like in awe, And I remember somebody saying once, like, you guys, people always said, and not to look him in his eyes because he'll hypnotize you with his eyes. And I was like, really? When did that happen? Well, when did that happen? Because I look at the nigga in his eyes all the time. He ain't doing nothing for me. But I get it. They see the brother and they said he had these pretty eyes and he got these mesmerizing eyes, Yeah. Wow. Okay. All right. All right. Didn't do it for me, but okay.
Maybe that's a good thing that he didn't do it for you.
No, it's more than a good thing, bro. Come on, Mike.
I'm just trying to,
because if he'd have been doing that to me, I'd have probably just left the band at that point. Like, nah, nigga, I can't deal with this relationship we have. You keep looking at me, and I don't like
Lord. Was there, speaking of like, his look and stuff, which is fascinating to me because from what I hear, he was always on point. Like he was always suited and booted, or always, hair was done and stuff. Did you ever see Prince?
Yeah.
Did you ever see him on the off time when he didn't have makeup or hair done and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, I can give you one of the. I mean, after I left the band, there was a time he had called me and wanted me to come out, and I was like, yeah, you get that phone call out of the blue and there's no number on it. It's coming up from an unknown number, right? Back when cell phones were just getting started in the 90s there, right? Mm-hmm. This was like, I want to say 96 or 97 or so. It might even have been longer than that. But, we had been in touch. I mean, we always kind of stayed in touch here and there. He would call just to say what's up or see how you doing or whatever. And I don't know that, other people were giving him calls and stuff, some of the people that he dealt with or whatever, but brother called me up out of the blue one time and I'm like, the phone rings. I'm like, hello? This is Damon. Yeah? Well, what's up? This Prince. Yeah, nigga, I know who it is. I heard your voice. What's up, bro? Are you busy? Like, no, dude, what's up? He said, can you come out to Paisley? Okay, all right, I'll what day? Come out tomorrow, just come to the back, I'll be out there, blah, blah, blah. Like, all right, whatever. So I go out there, and I pull up in my car, I'm sitting there waiting, he pulls up in his car, the garage goes up, I follow him in, we get out the car. This brother gets out the car, and he had on a pair of flip-flops. And now, mind you, this brother was always in a pair of heels. Only other time I ever seen him in anything other than heels was when we played ball and he had a pair of tennis shoes on. All right. And I'm just like, I looked at him, got the car. I was like, okay, so I'm walking with him. We're going to the elevator. Now, mind you, he ain't suited and booted. He got on like some regular sweat looking clothes type stuff. And I'm looking. And I just kept, sideways. We walk into the elevator and I'm looking at him. And when we're in the garage and we go into the elevator, and I kept looking at him. We get by the elevator and I'm standing there and the elevator comes down, And as we're walking in, he goes, why do you keep looking at me like that? I said, I don't know, bro. I said, because I ain't never seen you without your hair being combed. And then he went, I'm just trying something new. I said, oh, is that right? I said, is that the same thing as them flip-flops? Because I ain't never seen you in no flip-flops either, bro. And he just went, there you go, you got jokes. I said, no, I'm just saying, bro. I said, you called me out here to hang out a little bit. I get it, man. We gonna be comfortable. I said, I get it. I said, but I didn't expect to see you with an afro, nigga, and some motherfucking flip-flops on. No. And it was too funny, dude, because he always thought I was like, funny joke type stuff, and I was like, I'm just saying, bruh. I mean, it's all good though, you relax, you comfortable. And I said, but this is a whole different look for me, bruh. That's why I keep looking at you. Yeah. I know you felt me corner eye looking at you every time we turn. I'm looking because I'm trying to absorb this because this is something I don't think everybody gets to see.
Right, interesting. Wow.
Flip flop, an afro, and some little sweat looking clothes. I'm like, bro, what's going on here, bro? I mean, I was expecting to see Prince. He didn't come in here with, Prentice and somebody. I don't know who I should be calling you right now. That was the only time I'd ever seen him not suited and booted, and okay. I mean, other times after that, we get together and just talk, but he'd be dressed and stuff, but he wouldn't wear the flip-flops on no more because I clowned him on the flip-flop thing. I'm like, dude, yeah, you doing it in a pair of flip-flops. Now you ain't 5'5" like you said you are. You lied anyway, nigga. You ain't 5'5".
So it's, I mean, it sounds like from what you're describing, like y'all had a cool relationship. Like he was a cool cat. Like he was a real cool.
We did, man. I mean, we laughed a lot, and it was just fun stuff. And like I said, we talked every now and then. We would, it would be sometime, and it was always weird because I'd get a call from him out of the blue, and I'd be like, what's up with this brother calling me out of the blue like that? So I'd just be like, whatever. I mean, because, obviously he felt cool enough to want to call me and ask me to come hang out or whatever and talk or whatever. So, and when we got together, it wasn't about talking about band stuff. It wasn't talking about, anything had to do with music, that kind of stuff. It was always about how you doing, what's up with your life, what you up to, what you've been doing, what let's talk about some politics or talk about some religious stuff or whatever.
Okay.
It wasn't never about, don't get me wrong, there was a couple of conversations about former band members type thing, but it wasn't nothing, that I just be listening like, oh, okay, all right, okay. And, I had initially tried to write a book. And
oh, really?
Yeah, I'm still sitting on it. And I actually brought it to him to let him check it out. And the girl that was helping me write it knew Larry Graham, and I think she let Larry take a copy and he showed him or whatever and stuff. And so when I finally presented it to him, I think he had already seen it.
Okay.
And I was just kind of like, it kind of threw me off because I was, the book wasn't really nothing bad in it. It was talking about my life and how I got started with this whole band thing and that. And brother read the thing all of a hot second, man, and then came back. Like I brought it to what do you call them Jehovah's Witnesses church?
Oh, the Kingdom Hall?
Where he was at the time. Yeah, it was the Kingdom Hall. I came there with it and let him check it out, and he left. He took it. He said, "Oh, okay." And so he left, and about 2 minutes later, he called me. He's like, "I'm on my way back. You still there?" I'm like, "Yeah." So he comes back, and then we, I get in his car. We was talking. He said, "So why are you writing a book?" And I said, "Because I want to talk about my life. How I got started with all this, and I want my kids and grandkids to have something, that they can see and read about their grandfather." And he goes, "I don't think you should do it." And I said, "What?" And then he said, "Well, you were under contract and I talk about our life." And I said, "Dude, that was over 10 something years ago, nigga. We ain't in the band stuff no more. What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Well, Sheila and somebody else he named and Apollonia and all them guys who wrote books and they had to answer to my lawyers." I said, "Dude," I said, "what makes you think that I'm writing something bad about you? What's that all about?" And he just kind of, "Well, I just don't think you should write it. Da, 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 da." It's like, all right, man, whatever, man. So, I wound up taking the shit and I just kind of told him, I said, "You know what?" And then he's like, "We like family and, you don't need to write no book and blah, 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 this and that." I said, "Dude," I said, "Trust me, brother. I love you like a brother. If somebody was going to give you a hard time and, heck, or say something to you out of line across the way, they don't have to worry about your bodyguard. I'll be the one to punch that motherfucker in his face." And he just looked at me. I said, "And so you should know that by now, bruh." And he said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, it's not about, nobody talking about it. I guess, people always want to tell stories about me and da da da." And I said, "Dude, the only story in my book," I said, "if you'd have read it, because you couldn't have read it from 2 minutes ago up till now." I said, "Now, if there was something I was going to write negative about you, you'd have took that book home and read it and come back and tell me about it then." I said, "But there's nothing in there negative towards you." I said, "If you read the beginning, if you read the table of contents, I have you in the beginning of that as a very big thank you for what you have brought to my life, brother." And he just kind of said, I just saw, I said, "Yeah, you saw the table of content and you saw your name in there, dedication to the people that inspired me." And he just kind of sit there and he said, "Well, I just wouldn't do it." I said, "All right, man." And I got out the car and he said, I'll talk to you later." And I got out the car and I looked at him. I said, "You gonna talk to me later, huh?" "All right, bro, whatever." And I left it at that. And we got together, a few more times after that. him talking to me about, my life and what I need to do to get this. And he was big on wanting to try to, for me, I guess, with our conversations all the time, he was always trying to tell me, what I could do in my life, and so forth, is bring God into it and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, dude, I believe in God. And he said, well, I remember one question he asked me was, how do I talk to God? And I said, what do you mean, how do I talk to him? He said, well, what are you calling? I said, Jesus Christ, God, Lord Savior, whatever. He said, you don't call him by his real name, you won't get your blessings. I said, nigga, what's his real name? I'm saying, okay, so what is it? Outside of Jesus Christ, God, Lord, and he said, if you don't call him by his name, you won't get your blessings. And I just kind of was sitting there thinking to myself, like, okay, so my mama and we went to Baptist church. We always said, dear Heavenly Father, Jesus Christ, right. Lord. That's like, so I'm still puzzled, brother, because I didn't know what he was. And he goes, well, you got to call him by his real name. His name is Jehovah. I said, oh, I'm sorry. I said, is that anything like Buddha? And the rest of them brothers, when they go to jail, and them brothers go to jail, and they say Buddha and Allah and all them people do. I said, I don't know who all them. Ain't they all the same person, or same spirit, or whoever? He's like, well, you got to learn the difference. I was like, okay, all right, bro. I'm gonna go on there and go on by my business, because right now I'm a little lost. So you telling me that my mama raised me up calling the God and Lord and Lord. Jesus Christ, and that's wrong? For all these years I've been going to church with my mama. That I'm wrong, because I didn't call. That's why I ain't getting no blessing, because I ain't said, Jehovah, please come down here. Like, come on, man. And we went back and forth on that thing. And I just told him, I said, I guess I just won't never be able to get no blessings, because I just see, I always sit on the Heavenly Father, please, I never said Jehovah. I'm sorry. Right. Maybe that's why I ain't got no money. That's why I ain't blessed with nothing right now, because I forgot. I didn't put Jehovah first.
Oh, Lord. So he sounded like he was on some militant Christian, like he was trying to holler
that
at
was later on in life, right? Because when we used to have, when we first got in the band and we would, pray and stuff, he'd always say, "Dear Heavenly Father, God's Father, say for us." But as time went on and he started being around Larry, that's when that Jehovah thing started coming in. And mind you, I was out the band at that point in a way, so I didn't. When Larry came along and they were doing all that stuff with him, that's when that change started happening. So I don't know. I just, for whatever reason, I ain't trying to knock Jehovah Witnesses. I ain't trying to knock anybody that like Allah, or Buddha, whoever they, whatever the other. There's a friend of mine on Facebook. He names he called God some other name too, and told him, had the nerve to tell me. I had to like put that brother on mute. He said something about. I said, with God's blessing, man, you gonna God is not he's the devil and blah blah blah. I was like, nigga, I'm done with you, bro. I'm done. I had to get off of that. I sure did, nigga. I was like, look here, bro. Look at the devil. Okay, so now you telling me I pray to the devil. Nigga, I'm gonna tell you what. I don't know who the hell you praying to, but keep on praying to him. y'all do who you do. I'm gonna do who I do. Okay? Because all of them other names y'all coming up with, I ain't never heard. I mean, the brothers that go to prison, who they talking about? Allah. When they done did some dirty stuff and then killed somebody and go to jail, they reform. I'm gonna talk to Allah. Allah's gonna save me from being in jail. And you know what I say? Allah, I'll be damned. Allah damn. Allah be damned if he gonna save your ass. You want to kill somebody out there and you on Allah. or Buddha, whoever Buddha is. I'm like, good Lord, who is all these people? Look, can we just get back to regular religion?
Hilarious.
Lord Jesus Christ, please help me.
Well,
Well, let me tell you, you don't want me to go to there because I bring out the Reverend, the Reverend Dickson in the house. Say it, Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Look at him.
Okay. So, okay. So the other thing is, you guys were the band with the Symbol album. And, you know, bleed into that. Now, they had the was it 3 Chains of Gold was the other kind of home video release.
Yeah.
And I think I asked this to Tony and Levi at one point, but I want to get your opinion. The whole little narrative that was sort of spun of like when Maite joined the band, and like you guys seemed like y'all was kind of questioning what that was about. Was that fake, or was any of that real?
What part are you talking about? Fake? I mean,
in terms of it seemed like in the video, people were kind of questioning like her place in the band. Like,
well, you know, Maite, I mean, her place was solidified. He brought her on, and
sure.
you know, we you know, I mean, there wasn't nothing that we weren't embracing her to be a part of it, because she was, you know, he liked what he saw her with the belly dance and that stuff. And they wanted to incorporate all this stuff that she brought to the band or whatever. But, you know, when you look at that video, when they had these little pieces of snippets of cutting each one of us talking about her being a part of the band, and, you know, she better not be in my way, and, you know, I'm doing what you better bring what she better bring. And, you know, we were just kind of rolling with the punches, because she was going to be a part of it. I mean, it's his thing. He says it's going to be, it's going to be. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
were those real statements, or were those like scripted statements? I guess what I'm asking.
Well, when we filmed it, it was just more like what, you know, say what's on your mind, say, you know, what you feel. Nobody ever really said anything mean about it, or you know, anything really negative besides saying, you know, she better bring her A game, because, you know, we gonna be doing us. You know what I mean? If she gonna fit in, we ain't gonna treat you no different from nobody else. We gonna give you a hard time, and you gonna work.
Okay.
You know, so yeah, she came along, and it's funny because we gave him a video of her back when we was in Germany, and her mom had gave us a tape to show the print. Mm-hmm. And at the time, you know, that was a no-no. You don't come get that nigga no tape, and you know, nobody does that. Like, what you mean give him a tape? Nigga, you better keep that shit away from him. You know, that was sort of the thing. It was kind of, you know, scary, you know, but we gave him that tape, and then he watched the video or whatever. She was young at that point. It was just a tape of her when she was like, I want to say they said she was 9 or 11 or whatever. Mm. And she was doing her little belly dance thing on this tape and whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay. So fast forward, there was a part of one of them videos, you could see him watching that video.
Right. Yeah.
In the video. So, and she's older at that point now. And you know, and I guess that was supposed to be a romance story. How, you know, he was fascinated with her and where she come from and all that stuff. Now, that whole India thing, her being from India and they showing all the pyramid shit. I don't know that she's India. I don't know. I don't know her background totally, but, you know, whatever transpired after that was where she became a part of the band, and she became part of his romantic story. I don't necessarily know where all that came from, and when it started, it was like I don't remember when they started talking. You know what I mean? So forth as being in a relationship type thing. I can remember one time we was all in the lobby, and you know, I used to play with Maite a lot, wrestle with her, you know, sister brother type stuff. You know, wrestling around and playing and stuff. And one time I pulled up near Paisley, we got through a rehearsal and started my car in the wintertime and let it warm up along with everybody else. And she got in my car and drove it around the parking lot. And everybody was like, man, she got in your car. I'm like, what? And she pulls back up. And so I go out there and I'm like, I said, what you doing in my car? And she's like, we laughing and stuff. And I scooped her butt up and threw her in some snow. So fast forward the next day or two, Prince gonna come to me and go, hey, he said, so I understand that you were rocking with Mike K. I was like, yeah, we were just playing around, man. She, you threw her in some snow. I said, yeah, she threw in the snow because she got in my car and drove it around. He goes, don't you think that's a little rough for a girl? Bruh, she had me in a headlock, okay? So we playing. No big thing. I like my K, so I don't understand. I don't think you should play with her rough like that. And I just kind of stopped and went, all right, bro, well, tell her that we can't wrestle. She can't be playing with me then, okay? That's what you need to do on your end. I'll leave her alone. And then so she tried to play with me a couple times and I wouldn't play with her. And she was just kind of like, what the fuck is going on? And I knew she was kind of puzzled because I just, shut it off. Like, I'm not, can't play with you because your boy over there tripping. and I don't want him to get no attitude because if he try to fight me, it ain't going to be no fight. I'm going to just be honest with you. Dude, I'm the real nigga.
Oh, yeah.
Might be some problems, but I might be fine if that comes down to it.
All right. So, and the other one I wanted to ask about was the Gold Nigga album, which was essentially like a rap album, with Tony and Prince on a few songs. And the other, there was a couple of rap projects that came through around these times in the Carmen Electra.
Yeah, Carmen.
Yeah. What do you remember about Carmen Electra and her coming into the camp and everything?
She, it was cool. I mean, she was looking to, further her career. I guess as trying to be an entertainer, rapper, whatever. Her coming in was just, he had this project he wanted her on, and it's funny because there was a girl that came with her who she was I guess like a writer, a rapper, like one aspiring rapper, and she was trying to be in the part of the thing or whatever, and then this Carmen was just more like this girl, and if you looked at her, she's right up his alley, look wise, and he wanted to try to bring her on, and basically just started putting together stuff for her. Now, did it, was it gonna last? You just don't know. It was just one of those things. What I noticed was she wanted to get into the business, and she wanted to be this, whatever singer, rapper, performer. And once it started happening, me and her had a conversation. And it's funny because I talk about some of these things, like even the thing with Mike, me and her used to wrestle around, and then I'm puzzling snow, and she tries to play like she don't remember it. And that's my problem with some of these people that come across some of the stuff. I don't forget stuff. I'm like an elephant. That if stuff happening around me, I kind of pay attention. I watch. I pay attention to a lot of things. And you talk to people, and they act like they don't know you no more. You know what I mean? Or they don't remember a story, or they don't remember that happening. Well, first, if you stop fabricating some of the things that you did, you wouldn't have to sit there and act like you don't remember.
So you don't have to be on that Arsenio.
Right, exactly. And then, so Carmen, when he was doing all the stuff with her, she asked me, she's like, what do I need to do to get him to write, music for me? And true story, I told her, I said, do not give up the draw.
Wait, slow down. I want to make sure we can hear you clearly. I don't know how you're holding that phone, but I want to make sure.
Hold on.
They can...
Hold on, because I think my earpiece kind of died here. Hold on a second.
Okay.
I'm gonna take this earpiece off and put it on speaker. All right, can you hear me now?
There you go. They're gonna hate me that I didn't have you do this earlier, but yes.
Right, I know, because I had to take my darn earpiece out. If they start dying, we'd have been on here a couple hours. I don't think they last that long. Apple lied. Anyway.
So you said she asked you a question, how do I get him to write me a song? And you said what now?
Yeah, so she said, how do I get him to, write for me and get me some music out here? And then I told her, I said, well, you stay on your craft. I said, but most importantly, do not give up the draws. And that's how I said it to her. And she said, well, what do you mean? I said, listen, do not have sex with him. If you have sex with him, you ain't going to get that album. Mm. And then she was looking at me. She's like, well, that's not what I'm trying to do. I said, I understand that. So fast forward, he was writing this album for her, which he did, and he was bringing her out on the road with us. 3-4 shows in, and he's sending her home. And nobody understood why. And so she's in one of the dressing rooms, emotional, because he's telling her to go home. I go past and she called me in there, and she says, I don't know, I don't understand why we're going home. We only been out here for a couple shows and blah, blah, blah. And she started, I walked in there and I looked at her, I said, Carmen, let me ask you a question. And she's looking at me. I said, did you sleep with him? And she said, huh? I said, did you sleep with him? Did you give up the drawers? And she just looked at me, and she said, "Well, it didn't start out like that." Mm. Oh, well, then that's why you ain't getting nothing. You're going home. Damn. That's why you're going home, and that's how that ended. But she wasn't. I mean, she was just there a hot minute.
Man. Now, for you to be able to say that to her in terms of saying don't sleep with them, are you speaking of this because this has happened before? Like, what made you say that?
Well, that was just my view of all the women that have been around him. I just kind of thought that most of the women that came into that fold was somebody trying to sleep with him.
Interesting. All right. Well, man, I didn't expect that answer, but you kept it a buck. I appreciate that.
I mean, that's just where it was. Like, okay, so you sleeping with him? I get what you doing.
And she goes on to be.
Well, she goes on. I mean, yeah. I mean, just think about it. She got an opportunity. She was there for a hot minute. Mm-hmm. People saw her. And so that opened up doors for her.
Right.
What? I mean, you go back and look at the track record of all the women that ever had an opportunity to be with him doing music. Mm-hmm. Most of them got an opportunity, right? Most of them went on to be something.
Most of them, yeah.
Apollonia, Vanity.
Yeah, Vanity, Sheila E.
Maite.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about it. Now, these are women that, wanted to be singers and wanted to be, whatever. They got their opportunity. Now, the ones that I didn't see did a whole bunch of stuff. And I didn't know back in the day, I guess, was it Robin Powers? I didn't know that she was in like, was it an Ice Cube video or somebody's video? I didn't know that I had no clue until somebody just enlightened me on that not too long ago. I was like, oh, okay. Really? Wow, I didn't know nothing about that.
Yeah, there's I can't think of the name. There's a book about Dr. Dre that came out many years ago from like it was by his best boy, one of his homeboys, like his road dog. And
okay.
It was something that was called Me and Dre or something. And he pretty much just, I don't want to say exposed, but he talked about the whole Death Row, how Dre got into that. But he was his homeboy, so he goes into all of the stuff they was doing with the ladies and, you know, out and about in the world. And Robin Powers is in that book a lot.
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna say how she's in that book, but that's
you ain't gotta say it. Hell, if you go find her on Facebook and her little pages and Instagram, she got her own little thing going on now.
Yeah, and salute to Robin Power. I'm not hating at all. Like beautiful sister doing your thing, but that's what
no.
Yeah, so she doing her thing.
No, I've never had anything ill with Robin. Robin, you know, she was a cute girl. I mean, she had a banging ass body and she could dance.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? I mean, Cat too. Cat was like,
that's my home.
You know, strong, beautiful features and just, you know, hell of a dancer, creative. She was choreographing back in the day. Some of the stuff that he with Prince, a lot of the choreography was done with her.
Yeah, beautiful woman, beautiful sister. Man.
I don't have any no hate on either one of them. You know, they doing what they had to do, and they made things happen.
Right.
I just know that ain't no brother, no other man ever go through Prince's camp and come out on the other side of that, you know, being that successful.
I would say aside from Morris Day. You know,
Morris, Morris, like I said, Morris got put on the map with them, but Morris them was already doing stuff with Terry and Jimmy now.
Well, yeah, right.
You know, so it wasn't like, I mean, Prince put them on the map with the movie stuff, but they were already a band before getting with Prince.
Right. That's an interesting point that you made, though. I'm trying to think after that initial sort of run of cats, Morris, the Jessies and Terry and all of them. Yeah. And I would say Andre too. He was probably the first actually. Together.
Yeah.
After them, when you go into later, I don't think there was really any men who came through there and went on to. I think the only person I could think of was like Tevin, but again, he was sort of associated with other things too.
Yeah, I can't think of any men at all that, I mean, outside of Terry and Jimmy making that happen.
Right.
You know, I mean, and I think their misfortune of missing a show got them even bigger than what they were.
That was their blessing, actually.
That was their blessing. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. But, you know, at the other point, I would say, well, you know, I think, you know, again, I'm just speculating, but I think like Prince probably inspired or really was dropping game on dudes probably behind the scenes where it might have been more of like, you know, cats that probably came up sort of idolizing him or admiring him, being able to talk to them and say, yo, man, young brother, let me show you this or whoop-de-whoop, you know,
right.
That type of thing. Which is just as powerful, you know. Yeah.
Of course. I mean, everybody that's there can't say. I mean, I'd like for any one of the brothers that have been a part of that whole scene to say that they didn't get some kind of wisdom, some kind of knowledge, some kind of business out of that made them better. Right.
Yeah, I mean,
if they're one that can say, if they say, "Oh, I was there, but you know, I did this on my own," he ain't never said nothing to me. I just don't see it.
Yeah, no, I mean, when you think of it like that, there's a many of people who have come through that and benefited greatly, you know.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, and no matter what it is that you came in there to do, I was like, I mean, you know, I came in as a dancer, and I'm gonna be honest with you, Mike. Me coming a part of that, as getting the opportunity as a dancer, performing, like just loving to perform. I didn't have the music stuff. I didn't play no instrument. I played some little light drums when I was young. Tried my hand at a horn, but I just didn't like blowing. They pucker your lips up and push out what you got. I'm like, pucker my lips up and push out with what? Oh, no, I don't like that. I didn't have the whole instrument thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And now, so.
But see,
and I'm only, and I share this with you, man. I've been saying this with people because people been like, "Oh, you're fortunate and you got opportunity. You should look at it as a blessing," and blah blah blah. I said, I do look at it as a blessing. I'm not trying to say that I'm not blessed. I didn't have that opportunity, that I don't, appreciate it and look at it as that opportunity came to me. I lucked up on an opportunity and I, worked hard as a dancer to do the things I wanted it, to do,
right.
And to, put on a show with him and bring more energy to his stage.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think I did. But at the same time, people always want to try to make you sound like, you should be grateful that you had this opportunity, this and that. When I'm going, I didn't really play none of the music. So when people, I've had this issue with people saying things about, especially when it comes to the band and everybody's cool, everybody wants to be like, I don't think I ever got the respect as a fact, of being somebody, music wise, he's, or he brought this to the table, he brought that to the table. I don't see that because I don't, I didn't create none of the music. I didn't get a chance to, go lay a guitar line, a drum line, or horn line, or keyboard line. I didn't get to do that.
So let me say this to you because, and you're right. And a lot of times when there's going to be people that are initially going to see the title of this or see that this is going to be you talking, and in their mind, they're going to think like that. But I'm going to tell you why they're wrong. And this is something we got to remember when we deal with, I'm going to kind of go there, when we deal with the dominant society and how they view stuff. Dance is just, if not as important as the music. When we go back and look at our culture and the things that we provide when we into rhythms and dance and things that we do, the dancing is just as important as the guy who can play an instrument that was created by a man. Okay. Our body movement and the way that we move and the rhythms that we move and the stance and just our physicalness, that's just straight from God. Like that's us. That's our essence. That is really, when you go back and look at some of the greats and you look at James Brown, was James Brown playing instruments?
Yeah.
He was the instrument. His movements was just as influential, powerful to us and to the world. That's why he is who he is, really. I mean, the rhythms, of course, is another part of what we do, but we can't let the way that the world sort of tries to try and pick apart our shit and try to make, because you can be more technical with this instrument I created, that means you are greater than the rest of them. Nah, that's why a guy like a Hammer, you can go through history of entertainment. The dancers is just as important as the guy who can do the solo or play the drums or whatever. You really, if you really think about it, the guys who's moving his body and all of the physicalness and the expression and emotion, that's what we gravitate to. That's why you don't really see some super dope guitar player who's a square. He's not going to move the crowd. He's not going to move the world. It's going to be the guy who can dance. That's why you look at a Prince. Yeah, of course, he accomplished the music, but he was just playing what he felt. You see what I'm saying? And he had the movements, and his look made that thing special. That's why you got Michael Jackson, who ain't playing no instruments, but move the world. That's why when he moves his body in a certain way, and he did that Billie Jean on Motown 25, the world stopped. Because it was like, look at that. Oh. And that's so what you do is just as important. So that's why it ain't because you didn't do the guitar enough. It's because we're letting people define what our greatness is. And when we realize what you guys did up there dancing was just as important. I think Prince realizes why he always had dancers of some capacity in his works, when he realized, I'm going to really shine when I have these brothers up here dancing, whether it was Jerome and them, or you guys, or Cat, or Maite, And you know what I'm saying? He understood like that's our essence. We got to have that. So you are just as important. So that even today, the NPG, they would have to understand that for real music and culture and what we're really pushing out there when we do those shows is all of that. You can't have one without the other. They all just as important. And it's really somebody else who's probably not really a part of our situation that's defining and putting that out there like, oh, well, you can play the keyboard, so you're a little better than the rest of, let me treat you this way. That's when we got to really stop and say, man, who's controlling how we look at our art? Them or us? You see what I'm saying? So I just wanted to say that, man.
Yeah. I mean, but I always, and I try to get away from even talking about, what I am to it all. Cause I'm always praising the other guys cause I know that they, there's a lot of work involved in, doing that music and creating it and what have you, man. And stage stuff being the performance part of it and what you bring to the stage and giving an overall look. I mean, I have to be honest, I won't go, if I go to a show and it ain't moving me, I'll get up and leave. I don't care how much money they charging me to get up in there because I want to see a show.
Exactly.
I want to see. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to just. That's why when Beyonce came to town and my boy was working with her and he had me come down there. I'm like, I went to go check out the show and I'm like, that's exactly why I come to go see a show.
Right.
That right there. I was like, because I can't just go see somebody just standing around on a stage and they're walking back and forth. I mean, that's literally what you're doing when you go see rappers. They ain't putting on no damn show like that.
Right.
The only rappers back in the day that was actually doing it like that, and correct me if I'm wrong, Heavy D was a bad boy.
Yeah. Well, that whole Heavy D, Big Daddy Kane, that's when you could be the illest rapper, but they was dancing and they had the dancers and they was choreographed.
Right.
They was doing a full show. I agree with you. Yeah.
And so for me, it's like, I know because having conversation with P, and that's what he said. He said, man, your energy is what, you bring to the table, da, 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 da. And we, when we had that conversation, I just go, yeah. And I accept what you're going to tell me, but I noticed from experience and being around everybody, how some of the people that I've been involved with, some of them, the respect ain't there. You know what I mean? For me, at least that's what I felt like it wasn't.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And you're right. But I'm saying it's not only because they don't respect you, they don't really understand that they don't really respect actually the art. That's what I'm saying. They respect it from the lens of somebody who probably ain't really from our situation, telling them these are why you have to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's something we just gotta watch across the board because that's what separates us. That's what make people feel like, oh, you're the guy, he's not that much a part of it. We've seen that go through with groups. You see that with New Edition. I mean, there's many groups. That's why we don't really have no groups today. Because they that type of thinking, they make, well, you're the singer, so you don't need da-da-da-da. But pretty much, and I like I said, me and you talked about this the other day, and I just, I pulled myself away from everything, and I've had people ask me to come on and talk about stuff, and I appreciate you having me come on. I mean, we just, we shooting the breeze, we talking, about things that happen, whatever, and that stuff, man. I said, but I like I told you that day, I kind of pulled myself away from being a part of everything and didn't want to be in the light of everybody's thing no more, and kind of want to leave it to them, to the ones that do all the music, so they can have that platform. Because when you're being told that you're not essential, when you're told that you're not, that they can do the shit without you, it does kind of make you feel disrespected and less of what you are. I had to learn over the last year since this COVID stuff come in. I've been sitting around, and I think a lot, and I had to look back on the year before that and see where I was, what was being happening to me. And I had to come to the realization that I, step away from it, leave it alone, and let these people have, their day. Because,
at the end of the day, man, love is love. I'm gonna let, love these brothers, let them do what they want to do, but I'm not gonna be disrespected. I'm not gonna feel like, I'm not essential enough to be a part of something and them kind of things. So for me, it's like I leave all that stuff in the past now. I won't get into being a part of it. If I had the opportunity to get out and perform again, would I? It's something I'd have to think about before I jump back in it again now.
And be clear to people,
I mean?
We're talking about the NPG as it stands today, right? Like,
yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I just, all of them brothers are, they're all going to be, I have no disrespect to none of them. They're all talented. I go down that list and look at all these people. I had an opportunity to be around some of the most amazing musicians. You're talking about Levi Caesar. Mm-hmm. You're talking about Miko Weaver. You're talking about Sonny Thompson. You're talking about Michael Bland. You're talking about Tommy Elm. You're talking about Rosie Gaines. You're talking about Kirk Johnson. You're talking about Tony Mosley. You know what I mean?
Right.
All of these people brought, amazing things to that MPG thing. You know what I mean? All of them very talented musicians. You got very talented singers. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. I to be around it and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I was around all these people, but yet I never got a chance to explore Damon. I never got that opportunity to, to write a lyric, to sing a solo, or even do anything where anybody recognized me like that. I always wanted to, but it just never arrived for me. Never was there. Now, have I had somebody tell me, hey, man, we need to put you in this and this and that? Yeah, I have somebody say it. But that's as far as it goes. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, like I said, I respect all of them, man. I'll never, be into them things. I mean, right down to Morris Hayes, absolutely incredible keyboard player, incredibly talented, you name it, but there's also some personality things that go on with a lot of that stuff. And you just be like, I'm gonna step away because I can't be it no more. So, when people ain't, come off a certain way, you just got to step back and look at who you are and look at where you're at and think about if there's something you want to continue being and how you want to come about it. So, nothing but love to all them guys, man. But me, myself, I'm just that brother that got that opportunity, grateful. I will never disrespect that business because it's a hard business. And when I say that, the performance stuff is easy. The hard part is the business side of that. And a lot of the young cats out there who trying to get into music, they focus on your craft. Do what you need to do to be the best you can and learn your craft. But also know that being in the music business is 98% of what you do.
Right. Yeah.
That 2% performing and all that, that's easy once you start doing it.
Right.
It's handling your business on the other side of that is what's going to make you.
Yeah, man. And I would add to just as a fan, just as a man, listen, we look at the new power generation. When you guys first really dropped, there was a picture. I think it may have been in the album. It was all the band members.
Yeah.
And the thing you saw, this was the first time the band was predominantly black.
Yeah.
You dig? Like that was a big thing. Like I remember looking at that, I was like, oh wow, okay. Wow, okay. I thought Prince was just way out there, but no, he making a point to have, we back, we and it's all, and I'm like, every sort of iteration is still been, it's supposed to be us. And so I say that to say, even today, what y'all doing, I think that should, maybe it is, I'm just speculating, but that should always be remembered. Like no matter what business situation is going on, it was supposed to be able to say, well, you know what, man, this is us. This ain't like, we're not the odd man out in this group. So we should be able to come together and let's chop it up somehow. Yes, I know times are tough. I know the money on the road isn't the same as it was, whoop-de-whoop. But I think like, and this is something that always tends to break up a lot of black groups, is because when the money does kind of get low or something, cats be willing to sort of try and look at people and like, oh, who can we sort of leave behind, or who can we, do so we can get this back. And I think that's the wrong way to look at things, because again, that's what always breaks us up. It's always about the money, man. And like, there's got to be enough money or different ways to do this where we can still eat. Everyone's getting an opportunity, but we own this, or we are part of this. Is supposed to be us, bigger than just, oh, you got to take a less $100 here. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. I just hope those types of things can be considered as well, because it's just as important. And y'all the new power generation. You was there from the beginning of that.
Well, no, I let me help you rephrase that. They are the new power generation. I am no longer a part of that.
I feel what you're saying. I said I'm looking at it from a fan's perspective. When I think of the band, that's who I see. So, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. And it's true. I mean, I've talked to some people that help with some of the other bands that are out there, some bigger bands than what we were back in the day. Struggle with that whole thing as well. They wasn't enough money, so a certain one of the persons in the band got a little, didn't, got laid to the side, and everybody else was out, and people feeling funny. That you're right. It's something that goes on in our culture with the bands, the black bands, as opposed to, you see these white bands out here.
They all eating.
They still out there doing it.
Yeah, they all.
yeah. And if one person, decided he was done or wasn't going to be there, then they ain't trying to, make that person feel like he was less than anything. They just move on, or they'll try to work it out. It's just not in our culture. It's the same as. It feels the same as, like, I had a question I was going to ask, and I might do this live today if I get a chance to ask the question. Black folks in general, we don't do what Asian people do, what Somalian people do, what all these other people do when they get into business. So if you go to you go to any state in the world, and every state has like their little Chinatown, or or you got the little Mexican place where all the Mexican people have their little restaurants and what have you. They support each other.
Yeah, the Ethiopian section.
They support each other. Yeah. Black folks can't do that. If there's not a place where you can go where black folks have their own restaurant, their own clothing stores, they own this or that, and they all supporting it.
Right. Now we know why.
That's something you won't see.
Right. And we know why that is, but I think you're saying we know that. So, but see, here's the thing. There's people that want to see y'all play. It ain't like, what I mean? Like, there's a lane for y'all. Now, of course, the COVID thing, but still, there's a lane for all of y'all. And even if it was like, you know what, maybe you have to take, I don't want to speak too much into it, because I don't know the personal stuff. So I'm going to let you go ahead and tell it. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I know there's people that want to see music and stuff, and as far as the NPG, I mean, they're going to continue to be out there doing their thing or whatever, but it ain't going to make a difference who they have lined up in it. It won't. I mean, people want to hear the music, they're going to go see it regardless.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't look at it as, if I'm not there, people are going to be like, oh, he's not there. That's right. They'll say it, and they might even go, well, man, what's going on like that? And that answer won't never come across. It won't never be answered in the right way. It won't never be answered truthfully. You know what I mean? But they're going to go see that show regardless.
Right. Yeah.
And I've said that to people. Somebody said, well, I heard NPG was doing this. I didn't see your picture on it. What did I said? And my question, and I wasn't trying to be funny. I just said, well, you're going to go see the show, right? Well, yeah, I mean, I'm going to purchase a ticket. I was like, okay, well, then why are you asking me whether or not I'm going to be there? Because it ain't going to make a difference. You already got your ticket. You're going to go see it. It ain't going to make a difference. You bought the ticket and you see my face wasn't there. You still went and bought the ticket. So what's the difference? So I don't really feed into that. It's like, hey, no big deal. you still support, and that's what it is. You're going to support what it is you love to do. Like you love seeing live music.
For sure. Well, I'll say this lastly. It make a difference only here because we love the whole thing, and we about making sure that the legacies of everybody is represented, and when we keep it at 100. And so when some people look back at this in the past, they're gonna be like, oh, that was that brother that was dancing. Okay, yeah. And then when you're not there no more, hopefully things like these podcasts can be able to explain, well, yeah, okay, Prince moved into a different direction. That's why he's not here. Oh, they still playing now? Yeah, where's the rest of them? Well, here's why. Right. Here's why he ain't there. And just so we all know it was, and so in terms of history, we know it ain't, because he was too busy working 2 jobs. That's why he didn't want to go do the show. No, this is why what it was. That's type of thing. That's the only thing we're doing.
Right. And just so if anybody, like there were shows that were performed back in 2019 throughout in 2018 and then times that I wasn't there, it had nothing to do with me having prior engagement. It has nothing to do with me not being able to be there. That was something that was a move that was made amongst the people in that band who decided, they wanted a smaller configuration, whatever, and whatever the deal. And me being, as they wanted me to be, the team player and step back. And I did. And that's fine. My mistake was not saying, hell no, I'm a part of this too. That's my mistake, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to regret the fact that I, said, okay, well, I'm going to try to be a team player, let everybody go ahead and make their money and not feel a certain way about it, but after a certain time and stuff being said to you a certain way and then nobody really stepping up and fixing it. Yeah. I can honestly say that I had enough and I was like, okay, you know what? This ain't for me, This is for the ones who are the celebrities of it. You know what I mean? The ones who mean more, the musicians.
I respect your take on that.
And like I said, it's not about me trying to bash anybody. I know where I stood and I know where things did. Had I been somebody instrumental music-wise, it probably wouldn't have happened. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I get it. Let me ask this because it started with these brothers in some sense, y'all coming in together. One would hope, and I'm sure that you, Tony, and Kirk is still cool. Like y'all still cool.
Yeah, I still talk to Kirk and Tony. Me and Kirk at one point had some disagreements or, whatever little thing happened. And me and him sit down and hammered out some stuff. Like you said, as men, we sit down and had a conversation and I let him know how I felt about something that had happened at the time it was going on. And we good, man. I mean, we made progress and that's my little brother, man. I will never try to like hold nothing. And Tone's like, that's my brother from another mother, man. We, we go back so many years. And, I would hope that brother had my back when we was in that whole thing, but I don't know because I wasn't, I wasn't in the room when people speak about certain things or how it was going to be. But, we cool. I haven't heard from him in a little while. We text here and there. I'm trying to do better on texting all these brothers to say how y'all doing or whatever. But I don't expect brothers to try to be like me and try to make sure everybody's cool and be all this other stuff. It's just me turning a new lease on my life, man. I'm with all the things I've been through. So we cool though. I mean, I don't see it no different, as for friendship wise, unless something else, I don't know. While being in the band, me and Tone was in touch quite a bit, but since decision was made and I stepped away from it because I didn't like what was being said to me, I haven't really, there hasn't been like a lot of conversation. from that point, which kind of got me in my feelings a little bit because it's kind of like, well, damn, man, you don't even talk to a brother no more. You know, I pissed y'all off that much to where y'all didn't want to have anything to do with my ass, and that's fine. I piss a lot of people off.
It might be awkward.
At my regular job, I piss people off because I don't, you know.
You know what, y'all should just meet up and do hot hands. How about that?
I'm still quick as a motherfucker.
Y'all can meet up and just take it back to hot hands. Squash it out.
You know what I mean?
Okay, man. Well, listen, Damon. Oh, the other thing I wanted into, because you mentioned you had you had a child. I don't know if you have more. You kind of said you was a grandfather. You a grandparent now, or?
Oh yeah, man. I'm a grandparent. What we say, almost 14 times now.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Okay, well, you got a nice big family.
My oldest daughter is pregnant right now. She's getting ready to have a kid.
Wow. Okay.
Well, probably in a few more months, but she's pregnant. So that's going to be, I believe that's going to be number 14, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
14 or 15. So.
Well, damn, I got to take lessons from you.
I'm losing track of how many times they having sex out here. Shit, I'm not trying to tell my mother, y'all need to slow the hell down.
Somebody's paying for it, I guess.
I'm like, hell, I can't get all of them niggas no gift. There's too many of y'all. I'm gonna start giving y'all the share. Y'all gonna get the share button.
You know, you want to start making some cookies or y'all come get your
for
gift.
Real.
I ain't buying shit.
Look, get everybody get a cookie.
Well, man, that's incredible, man. Like, you are hella wealthy, man. Like, to have a big family like that, that's wealth, man. Like,
yeah, my kids are all, they're all grown and they living their life and whatever, man. And
wow.
I'm just, I try to be there when they need to talk or whatever else. Not that they call a lot for anything like that, but except for when, hey, Dad, I'm going to do this. You gotta, okay, then y'all need some money. Okay.
Now you want to talk to me, huh?
I'm gonna check cases on all you.
Yeah.
Anyway. So I just be there for them on that end, man. And it's like they grown, man. My youngest is 27.
Damn, how many kids you got?
I got 3, and then I got a stepdaughter that was from a marriage and stuff. But they all, 27, 36, 37, and 41.
Oh, wow. Okay. Damn.
And my oldest granddaughter is about to be 21.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a lot of wealth there, sir. Blessings to you, man. That's what's up.
And it's funny because they, I don't know how much they, even know about everything that I used to do back in the day and that stuff.
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah. Like,
I don't know that their mom never talked about it. My youngest daughter says it all the time. She when I was in the band, she was born. And me and her mother separated when she was 2. So, fast forward 26 years, she's 27 now. And she talked about it to somebody one day. I was over there at her house. She does hair for a living. So she was talking to this girl and she's like, yeah, my dad, my dad's funny. He don't talk about his life, but he a grown man. This man almost in his 60s. He up here doing TikTok. And she said, he doing TikTok. She said, yeah, he dance all the time. She said, he dance? And he's like, yeah. So she was trying to, open the door for me to tell the lady what I did, and I was avoiding it. And so she goes, see, I'm just going to say it. My dad used to be in a band. He don't even talk about it. And I just looked at her and she goes, well, what band was he in? And then I still didn't say nothing. So I went over to where my grandson was. I was like, Damon, man, I'm going to get ready to leave, man. And she goes, see, look at him. He trying to leave so he don't have to talk about it.
Wow. Dude, man, listen. That's, I mean, I can understand why you're being very humble about it, but dude, that's,
I've worked at 2 different places. I used to work at an insurance company and I was a security supervisor over there. And the first year, I was there. I was like kind of just, doing my thing, and I was being friendly with everybody, meeting all these people and stuff, whatever. The next year I was there, this dude comes downstairs and he walks by me, and he kept saying, he said, "Man, I've been watching you for," but this is a white dude, man. He said, "Yeah." He says, "You look familiar." And I go, "Okay." And he said, "You look like somebody. I'm just not sure." He said, you seem familiar to me." And I said, "Well, when you figure out who it was, you let me know." And so he walked back by one day and he goes, "You used to be in a band or something?" And I said, no, I don't know. He said, "Okay, do you know, are you familiar with Prince?" I said, "Yeah, I know who Prince is." And he said, "You look like a guy that might have been in his band." I said, "You know what? I get that all the time. I swear." They say I look like this dude in this band, and he just went. So later that day, dude, he comes downstairs, and I kid you not, he had 3 pieces of paper in his hand, and he goes, "So you don't really you don't know anything about, you don't have no affiliation with any bands or anything?" I said, "Bro," I've been doing this security stuff here, man, for about 5 years. I don't, yeah." And he goes, so he sets down this one paper, and it had a picture of the band of NPG, right? And I looked and I went, "Huh?" I said, "Oh yeah." I said, "That's that band." He said, "Yeah." He says, "Anybody on there look familiar to you?" And I looked and I'm looking at it. I was like, "Yeah, no, not really, man." And he goes, "Okay." So then he pulls out another paper, and this is a picture of me, of just me, and with my hair the way it used to look, right? And I looked at the picture, and he goes, "So you sure that this ain't? You don't know who this dude is?" He said, "You don't know him?" And I looked at the picture, and I went, "Well, that's the dude that was in that other picture that you showed me." He said. He goes, "So he doesn't look familiar to you?" I said, "Man, I told you that people told me I look like this dude. Now, mind you, my hair is bald now, right?" Mm-hmm. And he says, "Come on, man." So then he takes out the last paper, and he had all 3 of these pictures, and then he had a picture of me like right now from this LinkedIn picture that I had, like a professional picture. And he said, "This is you, right?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "That dude looked just like him. If you put the hair on it, he looked like him." He said, "Man, come on, man." He said, "Yo, you trying to tell me you don't know?" I said, "All right, man, listen. I may have dabbled a little bit in some stuff back in the day." He said, "Oh my God." He said, "It took me a whole 25 minutes just to get you to say you was a part of that." I said, "Look, man," I said, I don't get into that stuff like that, man. I said, "I'm here doing security. So you got any security questions?"
So I'm at work trying to get my bag.
I'm at work, bro. I don't do that. I'm not yet. It was too funny, man. And to this day, there's a guy that I work at this another place where I'm at now. Dude, I walk past this dude's office, and he's got a picture he done took offline, and he's got it on his desktop, right? On his he's got a cutout picture of me on the back of his computer.
Lord.
And I walked past, and I walked in his office. I said, "Hey," I said, "Where the hell you find that picture at, man?" He said, "Oh, I was online, and somebody said you was in Prince's band before, and I Googled it and found this picture, and I thought it was pretty cool." I said, "So you're a grown ass man. You got my picture on the back of your computer, like I'm like, don't you find that a little funny or weird?"
He giving you props, man. He did.
Dude, that tickled the shit out of me. I said, "Okay, dude, you know what? I'm just gonna let you have that." And now every time I walk past your office, I'm gonna look in there and see this picture of me.
Right.
In that get up.
Man, they probably, how people are. That's Damon. He used to be. That's probably a talking point. Something they use.
Of course.
Good.
Of course.
I'm sure at some point, or as probably already happened, people in your family and Damon, he was up there with Prince now. Go and talk to him. He'll tell you how to do what you need to do now.
Yeah, I've had some family that I got a lot of relatives in Texas, man. they all know, what I used to do. And so most of them all see something from me or whatever. And, every once in a while, there might be one that may be a little younger than me that'll come on and go, my mom said you used to be, and da da da. I'll be like, yeah, I used to be. Yeah.
That's tight, man. Well, listen, Damon, man, thank you so much, man, for I mean, this was a blowout episode, man. You really did your thing here and just sharing.
Okay.
I definitely appreciate it, man. I know the listeners are gonna be hitting you up heavy, as they should, and thanking you for this.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. Now, I don't know, is there some place you want people to find you online, or is that something you don't like to do, or?
Well, no, man. I mean, I'm on Facebook, man. I'm on Instagram. So, and all you had to do, I'm under my name. I ain't under nobody's alias. You ain't got to go on there and be trying to figure out if I'm sleepy from Willow Point or something like where, or from Slim from somebody's movie, Cooley High or some shit. I'm Damon. This gonna come up Damon. Period.
All right.
Put Damon Dickson in that motherfucker. That's what you're gonna find.
That's right. Well, man. Once again, thank you, Damon, for coming on here, sharing. Ladies and gentlemen, please let him know. Thank you. Hit him up on his social media and just thank him for coming on and sharing with us today. Yes, and sir, yes. With that said, we about to get up out of here.
All right.
But I was going to say, please check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/podcastjuice. Check us out on YouTube. If you're listening to this on YouTube, please like and share this. And with that, work it like a job. We'll see you next time. Peace.